What's up, everybody? Welcome to Void Jumper Season 2 finale. It's Wednesday, my favorite Wednesday of the week. We left off on a cliffhanger last time, so I'm going to just get through this as quick as I can so we can get to the action, okay? Today we're going to be playing Monster of the Week. It's a game that is using Powered by the Apocalypse rules, written by Michael Sands. It's excellent. We love it. Go out and get it and use it. Let's bring in the whole team. We got a quick announcement from our one professional here, Trin Miller. Trin, why don't you tell us about the special thing we're doing today for the Season 2 finale?
So what we're bringing back is we did some really great donations last season. And first off, I just want to thank everybody who donated. I don't think we did a sum up at the end of last season, but because of everything that you guys gave, we raised over $3,000 for a bunch of really awesome organizations. So just first off, thank you so much for all that work. For those of you who may not have heard, our Void Jumpers team is a fairly clued in group of fans. So I'm going to assume that most of you have heard about what's going on in Wisconsin right now and the protests that are happening in Kenosha. And tonight's stream is going to support the bail fund for Kenosha protesters. So, and we're still doing the 3-to-1 match. So if you can give even $20, that will turn into $80 that will help free protesters who are otherwise stuck in jail. So,
or $5 or $1.
Yeah.
Hey.
Every little bit counts. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Trin. We're not going to do our usual previously on this week. I'm just going to wrap it up because I want to get into the action. We left off in the middle of a boss fight. So, last week, we were on the Fire Planet in the temple. There'd been a lot of switching around of some shapeshifters to really confuse the party, but when we all got them together in the throne room, they were confronted with Varik, Bryn's mother's parallel. And after some scuffling, Sam was turned back into Puck by a ruse that Tag did to shoot him with a Void Blaster and flip him back over to Puck.
A ruse by any other name.
But in
that
doing
Varik
so,
seemed to be pleased by for some reason.
Well, Varik was believing that Tag was on his team, but once Tag betrayed that evil, his half-dad. What's up? We already got a donation.
Hey, thank you, Rob.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
I can't read it. Y'all gotta help me out and tell me what's going on. I don't see
$40.
the
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for starting
That's
us off so well.
So once Tag betrayed the corruption that was in Varik, that was trying to convince him to just come over to the side as this corruption, this malice has continued to do. Dang!
Hashtag
Domino
Tiplex
effect.
finish out the slider and celebrate the season finale.
Mark! Holy shit, Mark! Jesus Christ!
What happened?
What happened?
Thanks,
Whoa.
Mark.
What happened?
What happened?
Mark tipped us $180.
Yeah.
I can't do the math on right now, but that's a lot more than $180.
720?
Wow. That is equally impressive if that math is quickness.
That gets an NPC, right?
It
Oh,
must.
absolutely.
Mark, I need the name of an evil ship captain. You'll get to name them. Drop it into chat. Mark will tell me when it's time. No reason I need the name of an evil ship captain at all. But I think that gets you to name an NPC, and we're happy to let you do so. Thank you so much.
Yay!
That's really great. Thank you.
Yeah, so Puck, Tag, fuck it. We're about to fight Varik, and everybody's pissed. And there was an appearance from Tag's half-dad who knocked him into the throne, which was accumulating this black malice sludge. And he started to feel this immense power coursing into him. And the last we saw was Tag's eyes turning jet black as this pressure was building in his chest. So we're going to drop into the fiction now. I'm going to just...
Oh, and Rex is still under Varik's control,
yes.
by the way.
Rex, you are under an illusion spell. And the first thing that we're going to address is her perspective. So Rex, I believe you rolled a partial success when we were playing last time to try and break this spell. Because you have a partial success, you will now have the opportunity to get out of this. And so what ends up happening is instead of you being under the control, Barik senses his power on you slipping, and he alters the illusion. So instead of seeing him and your party in this room, you now see 5 different Bariks.
Oh.
And they are all standing around the room, and you are having trouble remembering who was who, because now they are all very convincingly the guy who was trying to kill you, and all 5 of them look like they're going to do some damage. Tag,
Okay.
you are resting in the throne, and you feel right at home. The entire planet is pouring its energy into you, and you can see every bit of magic in the room feeding this portal that's funneling it all into your person. Mechanics-wise, I'm going to allow you to deal with how you're going to approach that. I would say you are at neutral, split 50-50 from being completely corrupted and being completely tag. So as your rolls become failures or partial successes, I'm going to lend some of that onto you because I don't know what your destiny is. And you've made it clear that as a character, you want to cut a very different path than even I had anticipated. And so I respect that you will, in fact, bend to the corruption when necessary and fight it when appropriate. Deal?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work together.
All right. I don't follow, but I don't want to belabor it right now because I want to keep moving.
And so the last thing you see as Barik pushes himself off of Bryn, no longer trying to steal her staff, is a line of fire slithering across the floor of the throne. Crack.
Hashtag tip.
Hashtag.
Oh, thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Gordon.
Gordon!
He just tipped us $25, which is $100.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hell yeah.
100, 820, 40, 860. We're at 860.
Right.
Wow,
Holy
cool.
shit. All math challenges now go to Lisa, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not going to do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely not fucking with
It's
this.
a useless talent. It's stupid.
Excuse you, that's very useful. Sorry, I know we have a evil boss to fight, but I want to stick up for you here and say that is a very useful skill, and I'm impressed.
This line of fire slithers across the floor, and as you all look, you do identify it as the Sammy Serpent, the Viper. It is still just a rather large, regular-sized snake. It is no longer a gigantic form, but it goes and curls up Varik's leg, travels onto his arm, and wraps around his wrist like a bang. And so he's now got this kind of
A snake
flaming
puncher.
snake puncher on his hand.
Oh my
He
god.
turns and his entire hand ignites. Puck, you are laying behind him. I believe you're still on the floor from having just transformed.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I busted the handcuffs off.
Right. We're actually going to jump in with you, so place yourself in the room and tell me what you do.
Great. Well, like Puck said in our last encounter, boy, Sim's mad. It just gets right up and just charges right for Varik. Just full. Like, if I'm behind him, I'm just going to try to go ahead and. Oh, no, we almost chopped his arm off and then fell over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You smashed his arm.
Yeah, so I definitely am going to just try to do like a little double-barreled claw grab from behind and just try to maybe rip his whole upper torso off of his body.
Okay.
I believe that's called the tickler in the rulebook.
Oh yeah, the old tickler.
Roll kick some ass to do a tickler.
All right, let's see how
Oh
let's
my
see how
God.
much he laughs.
Quote of the night.
That is a 8.
Okay. How much harm do you do?
If he has, I do 3, ignoring armor, and +1 water if for some reason he's affected by water damage.
He's not weak to water. So what ends up happening is you can see that he takes 3 damage, 3 harm, and as your claws dig into his back and he bellows out, the fire kind of igniting even brighter on his arm, you feel a bit of your essence be pulled through your claws into his back. and your
Yes.
claws are actually ejected out of the wound. They do not heal, but he takes one harm off of that and puts it back into his health. And you feel slightly weaker. It will not affect you mechanically, but you can tell because you are a pure magical being, every time you are interacting with him directly, he's feeding off of that energy.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yikes.
Bryn, you watch Puck have his energy drain through his claws as he attacks Farik. You are standing there holding your staff, which the Parallel has given up on trying to steal. What do you do?
I recognize that I cannot fight Varik by myself, and I need my team, so I'm going to use Force of Will to dispel a magical effect. I
Okay.
want to. So here's my question. I can do that, but if I roll a +10, I also get to spend luck to instantly snuff out a powerful spell. So what I would like to do is use it on Tag, if I can break the power of the void or whatever, and then if I get a +10, I'll throw it on Rex. I'm probably not gonna
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna get a 10, but I can.
All right, roll it. Plus
All right.
weird, I believe.
Plus weird. Oh. 7.
Okay. So what does it say on a partial success?
On a hit, momentary magics are canceled completely.
Okay, so you see the blackness that has been fogging up Tag's eyes begin to recede. They do not disappear, however. They just pull out of the whites of his eyes and just leave this kind of whirling sensation in the middle of his pupils. But you hear him catch his breath. And Tag, you have this moment of clarity as Bryn dispels some of this magic. But the reason it doesn't completely finish is you can feel Varik reach out and snuff out some of that spell.
Sure.
He's not able to use it to heal himself, but he does disrupt it. So you find yourself with this pause, Tag, and we move to you next.
So what Bryn just did kind of wake me up, and the sensation of that physically, I think, takes me off of the throne, so I'm no longer doing the dirty dancing. Is it dirty dancing when she's on the chair and
Flash dance.
flash dance and
Yeah.
the water
Yeah.
comes down?
Flash dance.
That's kind of how I see Tag on the throne with this ichor.
Yeah, me
coming
too,
down.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's...
It looks like you're covered in sexy tar.
Yeah, okay. That's...
Oh my god.
So, yeah, we're thinking about doing a Void Jumpers calendar. I'm really hoping that that's going to be, like, the cover image, so just...
so
I
sexy.
don't know.
It'll just... the behind the scenes will have me up on a ladder pouring tar onto you.
You gotta sing while you do it. You gotta sing the song.
Honestly, if you guys know how Jesse and I spent last Christmas, none of this would really seem far-fetched. That'll be for next time. So, what I'd like to do mechanically is essentially distract Varik, and how I want that to occur narratively is as I've fallen down off the throne, I'm kind of on my hands and my knees. It's still sexy, sort of clawing my way to try to find that anchor to my own consciousness and this world that I'm in. And I'm kind of popping in and out of the phase, and there are all these forces of malice. I can feel it trying to pull me back to the chair. And so it really is like I'm just kind of pulling myself forward away from that. And as I'm flickering in and out of the phase state, I just want to see if I can lock on to Varik in that state. I just want to get up in his shit and just try to, like jump, the sort of wave my hands in front of his face while my buddies are fighting, because I don't know that I can, really deliver much punch right now.
Before you roll, what you see every time you flick into the phase state is when you're not in it, you see Varik, and when you are in it, you see Half-Dad. He's assumed this place that is around Varik, but you can see this tether that extends off his back, which you've never seen in any of the other times that you've seen him, connecting to something that when you flip out, you're seeing that he and Varik are occupying the same place, almost the same way Sam and Puck do. And so you know that if you are going to fuck with Half-Dad, it will in fact fuck with Varik.
Great. I'm going to just roll weird.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's a 10.
Yeah,
so I
cool.
come up to him and I'm like, hey, what's up, jerk? Oh, yeah, you're such a great dad. Well, you know what? I'm going to borrow the car and put in my Sum 41 CD, blast it real loud, and when I bring the car back, I'm going to turn it off, but without reducing the volume first, so that you're going to get in the car next time you want to go to run an errand, and it's going to be so loud and so punk rock, and you're not going to understand it because you're old and shitty half dad, in your face. Think about that. I'm going to borrow your ties to go on a date, and I'm not going to roll them up when I return them. I'm just going to fold them and throw them on the floor in the bottom of the laundry hamper. That's where your ties are going to be, you shitty hot pocket of a father.
So as Tag is crawling on the floor and eventually getting to his feet and shouting these things, you can see that he's starting to move side to side like he's dodging something, but none of you can see it. Tag, what you see is that Half Dad has this glaive. And for those of you who do not remember, he is this probably 7 foot tall, anonymous figure that is cloaked all in black, wearing black iron armor and a big black iron crown. And he is swinging this glaive. And Tag, you are stepping to the side. It's almost like he's playing with you, but in this moment, this game that the two of you create as you're yelling these things at him and he's swinging this glaive, you see this rhythm get created in which you do have his attention.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. What's up? I'm going to go on your iPad and authorize a bunch of in-app purchases that you can't go back on because you already put down your credit card and you didn't know how to turn off in-app purchases. You stuffed Ottoman fuck.
And while this is happening, you all see Varik start to turn and look over his shoulder. It's like he's trying to get his eyes on something that isn't quite there. And even though Tag is approaching him, Varik is not looking at Tag. He's just being pulled in different ways as he's trying to compensate for something that isn't in front of him any longer. And you can see that you have a moment in which he is confused. Rex, you are next. There are 5 Variks in the room.
Are they all behaving in exactly the same way?
Yes, it's almost like this ripple effect. If you've ever done that game where you stand in a circle and you just try and mimic everybody, but inevitably it starts to evolve. It's like all of them are doing this weird thing. None of them look like they're locked into the moment. They're just like these illusions that are reacting to the wrong stimulus. It's fucking trippy. You're tripping.
It's weird. It's weird. I think I'm going to react to this trippiness by trying to do some sick stunts.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Roll it first, then tell me what you do.
That is a 9.
Okay. So you start running through and trying to slide through like underneath legs and stuff. You're knocking some of these on. Bryn, you actually fall over and then you try and
Excuse me,
crawl-
I'm doing some Simone Biles flips is what I am doing. You know, the ones where she just like does them over and over and over and like gets higher and higher.
Are you just trying to travel
perfectly.
somewhere in like a really cool way?
No, I'm trying to hit all of them. I'm trying to like do a series of backflips that will hit each and every one of them.
Okay. Also roll kick some ass.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
A 6.
Okay. Well,
Well, that's
consider
okay.
this-
Enough of them are us versus the enemy. There's only one Varik, but you got a lot of buddies in here.
Yeah, so I'm just kicking my friends in the face, I think is what's happening.
Yeah, it's good that you didn't roll that well. Well, maybe not.
You're gonna roll one more dice, just one single d6, and tell me what number is on it.
Okay. Am I hoping for high or low?
You probably want low.
2.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, wow. That is
So, Bryn, you don't just fall down. You get kicked in the face by Rex, who is flipping, and she does 2 harm to you. It does not get 3
Sorry.
harm. So if you're wearing armor, and I think that you might be, you just get
I've been
knocked
at
over.
4 harm forever. So, did I stabilize at some point?
I think you did just stabilize without healing.
Okay.
kind of that's how our total party kill happened, was Rex doing 6 stunts, flipping Simone Biles style across the floor, kicking us all in the face.
But because you rolled a 2 and you got a partial success, you do bring Graflex down in your final move with all the
I
momentum
don't
of all
have
these flips.
Graflex friends. We
What?
established that. Yeah, when I
What do
was
you have?
going into seizure mode, they were like ripping everything off of me and trying to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And then you sent me off half-witted to go rescue the summoner and bring her to this throne room.
All right. Then
So
you come
I've got these two burly fists
you
and
come
these
down
two
with two burly
ferocious
fists
feet.
and smash the real Varik, which you cannot tell the difference, but everybody else sees her kick Bryn in the head and then punch Varik. And he's going to take 2 harm, which gets reduced to 1 harm, but none of that is absorbed to heal him because she's not using magic.
God, could this day get any worse?
Which brings us back around to Puck.
Well, I've started to realize that if I touch him, it helps him. So I'm going to go over to the just sort of the edge of the throne room, grab some full plate armor or something, and I'm gonna go over and yell, "You're not suited for this line of work!" And I'm gonna smash.
Sure, roll kick some ass.
Okay, that's an 8.
All right, you're both going to deal damage to each other. So what he does is he catches the full suit of armor in the back as you yell, "You're not suited for this line of work." And he's going to take 3 harm, which is going to be reduced to 1 harm. And he's
Excellent
going to spin
catchphrase.
around and blast you with a ball of fire. And so that is going to deal 3 harm as well. It penetrates magical armor, but not regular armor.
Okay, I just have damage reduction. So,
Okay.
Well, I'm singed and not happy about it.
Okay.
Wait, didn't you get armor from the Tyne?
We made the bone armor, but that got used, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, somebody used it to catch a ball of fire. It was sacrificial kind of armor.
Is there a way, Jesse, in which you are incorporating Tag's buff into our party's roles?
Which buff?
I'm distracted him. That's the thing.
Oh, I guess I should.
I'm trying to use it like a sort of a bard's, party buff kind of thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So actually, he's going to be. So on Kick Some Ass, you always deal and receive damage. But because Tag is distracting him, his return fireball puck is actually going to miss you.
Oh, sweet.
I think that would be. Yeah, thanks for keeping me honest about that, guys, because I will forget that shit because it benefits me when I do. Yeah, so that would be the distraction coming into play. Would be he would not be able to return damage on a Kick Some Ass roll. All right, Bryn. You just got kicked in the face by Rex, and then you see Puck smash some armor down on Varik's head.
All right, I stand up and I am very angry at this point. And I grab my staff and I look at Barik and I'm like, "What are you doing? Where's my mother? I got you one chance to answer me."
Oh. Speaking to the boss during the fight, I wasn't prepared for this. He rolls on you and he says, "Your mother's been removed from the equation, young summoner, and if I have my way, you will as well."
That's it. I'm pulling on fire and I'm aiming it at him.
Okay.
Yes. Unleash the beast.
Planet. I haven't done this on this planet since that really bad. So I look at everybody and I'm like, "Just baby duck." And I grab my staff and I slam it on the ground and I feel the fire coming up through it and it starts glowing and I get super angry and super frustrated and I want my mom and I'm like, "You're gonna pay for this." And then I aim it at him.
Okay, roll. I think just use magic.
11.
Some heavy shit.
Okay, yeah. So what Tag sees, because he's still kind of flickering in and out of the phase state, is all of that energy that was being pulled up towards that rift above you, that portal. It starts to waver and then reverse. And you can just see this flow of energy start to go all the way back into Bryn's staff, much in the same way it had been funneling into Varik. It's like these competing magnets. And as Bryn rolls an 11 and also smashes her staff into the floor of the throne room of the palace she will someday rule over, she just overcharges the crystal in the head of it and blasts just an inferno of fire at Varik. I guess it would just be like 3. It doesn't matter. He's like almost dead. So what you see happen is he gets hit square in the chest as he whirled around to threaten to do whatever he's done to Bryn's mother, to Bryn. She summons this fire and just unleashes on him, and it hits him full in the chest, and he flies backwards. As he's soaring through the air, he hits Tag, and his form kind of ashes. Not Tag's. Varik's form just kind of ashes around Tag. And Tag is left holding Varik's armor, which is now empty, and it is the only part of him that survived this blast. However, Bryn is now wielding this tornado of fire, and it is starting to cut through the throne room, much like Tag you saw in a vision a long time ago when she was learning to use her powers for the first time. The entire force of the planet, which was being drained by this rift, has now reversed and is coursing through Bryn. Bryn looks extremely happy about all of this, and she's cackling madly as she's sending this tornado of fire and just lashing it around. Everybody roll act under pressure.
Oh boy.
Including me.
Not you.
Okay.
8.
Also 8.
You know, it's a good question. I think that's a 7, but I want to check.
Just in case.
You know, just in
It's an
case.
important distinction.
Yeah.
In-
You know. Just for my own.
It's whatever your plus cool is.
Oh. Yeah, that's a 9.
Okay. All right. So all of you are forced to dive out of the way. And when Tag dives and he lets go of this armor, and when it flips up, you can see that serpent which had been coiled around Varik's arm kind of be flung from the armor. It and the fire tornado that is coming out of Bryn's staff collide in the air. And you can see the serpent get caught up in the flow at first, but it grows so rapidly in size, it's able to open its mouth and just start to consume all of this magic. Bryn blasts it for as long as she can hold out until she eventually screams and lands on her knees, and the fire cuts out, and the serpent is now coiled around the entirety of the throne room. It is gigantic, as you had seen it before. It looks as though it is going to strike, but it simply lowers down so that its face is level with Bryn, who is kneeling on the floor of the throne room. And starting at the tail and moving up towards the head, the serpent begins to unravel. And it turns into this dust, like you saw the Elder Scorpion do, like you've seen these creatures do, and it disintegrates, and this cloud of glowing particles collects in the air and starts to be pulled into Bryn's staff, and another of those clear crystals starts to glow red as this serpent, or at least the ability to conjure it, is now contained in Bryn's staff. And then she collapses. You're all in the throne room. Varik is dust. Tag's laying next to his armor. What do you do?
Talk to us about this fountain of malice. Is it still pouring down onto the throne?
It is. It does not seem to be... the first thing I'll say is that what you do notice is that in the phase state, your half-dad is no longer there. As soon as Varik was vanquished, he is gone too.
Okay.
I'm getting a little echo. I don't know who I'm echoing off of.
Well, I have an idea that I'd like to start out with, but I do think that it should evolve to incorporate the whole group. So if I may, I'll kind of set the stage for it, and then we can see how we all pitch in here.
Yes, sure. What you do notice is that that portal is still active. It did not seem to be anchored to Varik.
Right, and
He may
that's
have been an agent of it.
that's my immediate concern, because I know that that malice pouring down is some evil stuff, and I also remember from the Bloom planet that it was that same kind of portal that was powering the rift that was trapping us all on the planet and kind of the core of all the magical hijinks that were happening. So the scene as I see it, we've just gone from this cacophony of screams and battle cries. This giant snake has swallowed a mountain of flame. Bryn has been cackling. She's done the thing that she's been afraid to do this whole time we've been together, which is to call on that primal power here in her home. She's collapsed. I think that I've also collapsed on the floor. I don't know if Rex is still backflipping around. I imagine she's probably got a couple more residual flips in the tank.
Yes, but her illusion does drop is the moment Varik disintegrates.
Great.
So now I'm just doing them for kicks.
Yeah.
Good. So I think the moment that cacophony of battle dies down, there's just an immediate stillness and quiet, and I drop right into the phase where, as opposed to the kind of destroyed landscape and bodies that we were inhabiting in the real world, I'm just standing right in front of Bryn. We're both unharmed, our breath is calm, and I'm able to look at her and say, hey, that was a really, really cool thing that you just did. And I know it's scary, and it's probably always going to be scary. I'm a kid. I can't talk about what it's like to be an adult and spend years reflecting on this, but one thing I'm already starting to figure out is that they don't want us acting like kids, because kids throw tantrums, they scream, they cry, because they're in touch with how they feel, and over time we're just told to push that away and push that away and push that away. And I just think that that's dumb. And you're my bud, and I suspect that you might think it's a little dumb too. And so I reach out. This is the first time that I've tried to do the Summoner Fire Planet hand greeting thing. And I say, this is your power. This is your home. This is your frickin' throne room. There's no shame in that power. There's no shame in yelling and shouting and screaming and crying and laughing and blowing the fucking shit out of some firepower. And what I hope to communicate with this is that I think that the moment that I want to create is that here we are, Summoner and Parallel, paired together to sort of embrace a magical future hooked together by destiny, and that this is the first time that we've kind of stepped into those roles in Bryn's throne room. You know, this is her, she is the heir to this magical empire, and I want it to kind of be a formal taking up of that bond, of that relationship, stepping into her rightful role as the summoner here, with me standing by her side as her parallel, and see if that sort of cinematic movie moment can get some extra juju going to stop this portal, which is where I think, it's a group effort. I'd love to see everybody.
Sure. I think that's going to give Bryn a +1 to any magic she's going to try and perform in the next sequence. Just to get us started.
Cool.
If you guys are going to try and deal with this portal, we've already seen what Tag's contribution is going to be. Rex, I think that Bryn is ultimately going to have to cast whatever spell is going to be used to close it.
Hashtag a hot pocket of emotion.
That was Wags. He tipped $100.
Hey, all right.
Wags,
Thank you.
Cool, man.
oh, that's
Thank you.
400. 860 is $1,260.
Woo. Very cool.
Holy crap.
Really, thank you. Very cool.
Thanks, Wags.
So Rex and Puck, how would you two like to contribute to what will turn into a ritual, rather informal and improvised one? But we'll start with Rex.
I think I kind of do that thing where, someone's been under mind control and then they're all like dizzy afterwards and they just kind of it's like you're getting out of the pool and you're just trying to get the water out of your ear.
Or you just did like 100 flips.
Both of those things combined, I imagine. And I see, I can't see what's going on in the phase state. All I see is the people who are now my friends collapse in front of me. And so I think my first instinct is to run over the summoner and make sure that she's okay. And I notice she's very dirty. And because she's been covered in all of this ash from Farik disintegrating. And so I'm just like trying to dust buster her a little bit.
Okay. I think we're just going to stack it, I think I'm going to give, so Bryn, you're going to now have a +2. I think that Rex pulling you into the present and simply blowing the dust off of you is reminding you to get your composure, like the act of brushing the dust off turns into you realizing I need to be aware of how I'm carrying myself. I'm in the throne room. I need to be royalty. I need to be a summoner. And so I think this simple act translates to you to start to live in your body and recognize how you're holding yourself. Puck. You're on mute.
Muted. I will gather some of the ash and do some Spriggan glyphs and runes on the now clean Bryn to aid her focus, as well as some that symbolize protection for both Tag and Rex, so that Bryn won't have to ever worry about hurting them, but she can just focus entirely on the magic at hand.
All right.
Awesome.
Roll use magic.
Tattoos.
What you're doing is going to work. We're just going to see if anything else happens, because you're using a very old magical language.
13.
Okay, yeah. So
Whoa.
you're just getting an additional +3. You see these glyphs once completed. Like as Puck is drawing these old runes onto Bryn's flesh, they just seem like they are marks of ash. But once phrases are completed, it's like those glyphs lock, and then they start to glow a little void purple. And so as he continues, each phrase locks in and starts to glow. And so now you see the summoner who's been wiped clean. I think there's still a little bit of a frame of ash that's just cinematically, like cool looking, like she just got out of a cool battle. But she's also got these glowing runes around her. And Tag is standing in front of her, saying like, all right, this is your thing. Do your thing. Bryn, you can feel what this rift is doing. It's now that you've taken power from it, you just scraped the frosting off. It's still hardlined into the planet. It seems to be anchored somewhere as you start to feel for this, as you're centering yourself and getting ready for whatever it is you're about to do. It seems to be anchored to the tallest tower in the palace, which is where your mother keeps her study. It's not her quarters, but it is where she goes to think, meditate. She does not take meetings there. It's a very private space. This thing seems to be anchored there as though that is stabilizing it, but it is just draining the energy of the planet. You just feel this firestorm pouring from the core of this world into this portal and going somewhere else. What would you like to do?
I think back to when I was a kid and I climbed this unfinished tower that I got in trouble for all the time because everyone told me not to go up there, and I did it anyway. And I would sit up there and I would look out over the whole vastness of our town and further and see that river and dream about that river and what it could do. And I get this idea that I need to pull from that river to heal what's on the planet.
Ashes, someone name a planet.
Oh, shit! That's another... Wait, what is this? It's another 115 from Wags, and I think that means we get to name the planet.
Whoa!
Holy shit! And I just said it was $20 more to make Matt rap, so I think that counts too.
Oh my gosh. Legs!
That's so cool. Okay, we will figure out exactly how to do it. It'll be in chat. We're going to have the water planet be named next. We're going to take a short break in a little while. We'll figure out, they're going to tell me what the hell that even means, and then we'll tell you guys. But it's awesome, and I'm excited. It'll be our first named planet. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so you're thinking about the river that is running through your town that has these healing powers, and you can reach out and feel it. What would you like to do? You just want to heal this rift?
I want to summon the Elder Scorpion to work with me to funnel the river and its powers into the rift.
Okay. It does not take a roll for what I remember. And I think what happens is, I'm just double checking because it's the first time we've used this move. Summons Elder Scorpion. Yeah, it can just be summoned into an ultimate attack. Okay, cool. It says specifically in the rules.
I think we mean that he's going to use his claws as buckets to take the water.
It says in the rule that I wrote, new attacks can be improvised by summoner and balanced by mission control. Okay, yeah, so Bryn points her staff after all of you kind of take a moment to lend her simply, like a moment of peace and friendship after this fucked up journey that you've been on. And for the first time, you guys see her staff almost explode in this green energy. And it's like when Pokeballs are opened and the Pokemon just springs into life. This gigantic scorpion that takes up the entire throne room is now there. And Bryn, you are funneling this feeling of healing from the river and pointing it through your staff into the scorpion. And the scorpion's ultimate attack is called Tail Laser. And so I think what happens is its stinger.
Yes, we have all played Final Fantasy VII, Jesse. Let me just take a freaking guess where that comes from.
It was a complete shock to me.
Its tail absorbs all of this healing energy from Bryn's staff and launches this very concentrated beam of healing that just collides with the rift. And so rather than trying to reverse the flow of energy, what Bryn's summon does is it's like sears that rift closed and then heals it in a way that Bryn and Tag, who can see into the phase state, know it is closed. It's not temporarily barricaded. You have actually closed the rift. But in doing so, you do have this moment where you realize you just closed the door. And so all of the energy that was stolen. And it is no longer being drained from the planet, and the presence of this rift is gone. In fact, the goo, the malice that's collected on the throne, starts to burn away. But the moment the rift closes and Bryn realizes that all of that energy is in fact missing, Tag has this violent reaction. Tag, roll plus weird.
13.
Okay. You suffer no harm, but you feel your body seize and you can feel something pulling up through your chest and into your throat, and you start violently puking this black malice goo everywhere. It's actually turning into fog, like black fog, and disappearing as it's hitting the ground, but it's the remaining portion that was in you is just starting to expel itself now that it's no longer tethered to that rift.
It's okay. This happens all the time. It's really it's not even worth. Anybody having like a wintergreen Tic Tac or something?
But you are now free of that presence. And as you leave the phase state to return to the throne room, it seems to be all clear. The scorpion.
I violently hit him on the back to try and just clear out the rest of it.
A couple more.
I take no harm.
The scorpion fades into that green glowing dust, much the way that the serpent did, and returns to your staff. It is a slightly less intense sheen because you can only cast these things once per mission. You get the impression that the scorpion will need a recharge before it can be called forth again, but it's done its job, and you're now standing in the throne room, and you can feel that tether that was connected to the tallest tower break, and once the rift is gone, you're kind of just in this silence. What would you like to do?
Can I feel the connection to my mother again?
Actually, yes, you can, and it is coming from that tower.
I want to go to. I don't know if she's alive or if she's not, but I want to go there.
Sure. It's a faint connection, but you do get the sense of life. You all follow Bryn as she starts to sprint up the tower. While you are on your way up, your radio crackles, Rex, and you get this choppy message that says... Ooh. It's Haven, and they're letting you know that they've dispatched a shuttle to come and pick you up. But the connection's quite bad. It seems like it's just trying to reestablish. It's almost like the communications are starting to reboot. And you guys run up the steps. You climb the stairs, which wind up into the tallest tower. Upon entering Summoner Amelia's private study, you see that the blinds are closed. Sunlight filters in through red fabric. The room is hot and stuffy. Amelia is hovering several feet above the floor, suspended by a tangle of wires, though none look sturdy enough to be holding her weight completely. You believe some kind of enchantment is at play here. Her staff is planted firmly in a nest of these wires. On the far side of the room, a large machine dominates the space. There are tubes and compressors strung between the summoner and the machine. Crystals adorn several sockets embedded in the strange technology. They pulse and glow a fiery red. These crystals remind Bryn of her old necklace. The contraption looks makeshift, sturdy, though obviously pieced together. The machine hums faintly. The crystals pulse and glow. What would you like to do?
Read a bad situation?
Sure, roll it, plus sharp.
6.
Okay.
I'm distressed.
Mark experience.
Mark and experience. So
That's a lot of experience.
you realize, at the very least, that these tubes, wires, compressors, though they are, like tangled around the summoner, they're not actually connected to her. There are these little contraptions that are at the ends of each of them. They look like little siphons, and they are very close to her skin, but not making contact. And she seems to be wrapped up in this. And she also appears to be sleeping. Yeah, so that's the only information you get with a failed roll.
Ty, could you take me into the phase state to try to contact my mother?
Of course. Boom.
You guys are in. What you see is that Bryn looks very similar to her mother because Bryn in the face state is this glowing, this like gold glowing presence. Her mother is shining half as powerfully, but you get the impression that that is even dimmed to compare to what she is. Her energy is being pulled into these tubes and siphoned into this machine. It seems to be malfunctioning now because wherever the output was, you assume the rift, it is no longer connected because the rift has been closed. But the machine is still limping along, draining her energy.
I'm gonna go ahead and just start, classic movie scene, dude wakes up from a hospital, got all the nodes on him. I just want to start pulling them off.
Sure.
Maybe look for a reverse switch first.
Yeah, I think that there is, because we'll do what we did the last time you did.
Tag has already pulled a couple of them off.
I quickly reattach them.
There's going to be, while you're trying to beat Tag to the punch, I think that would be the way. He reflexively starts to pulling wires. You lurch over to the machine, and you're going to roll Act Under Pressure because there is a console, but your fingers are rather large as Puck, and you're going to need to interact with a machine you don't know how to use. So plus cool.
9.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It takes you a second, so Tag has gotten some of the wires off, but you manage to reverse the flow, and you see those crystals, which are mounted in these sockets, drain of light, and all of the energy kind of like blows back into the summoner, and she screams as she wakes up, and this ball of fire kind of erupts around her. It is contained, and she lands on her knees and continues to rip these cords off, and she's looking at you all in confusion, and she says, Bryn, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Do you have any idea what's been happening?
Unfortunately, I do.
I came to save you. I kind of took out Barik. Sorry.
When
I know you don't have a parallel anymore. I don't know what that means.
She says, fuck Varik, and she rips the last of the tubes off, and she just gives you this huge hug.
Dear.
She's crying too. There's just this moment where the three other members of the party step back and give them a little space, and there's just this silent homecoming that happens between Bryn and her mother. She explains to you some things that you already know. As she's catching her breath, she looks around and goes and she finds her chair that she usually sits in to meditate. It's a little poof on the floor, and she sits down in it and motions to some rather carpeted but yet hard floor for the rest of you to join, and you all sink down. And there's a moment where she just wastes a little bit of time thanking you. Bryn in particular, though she recognizes you all helped her, but she's very proud of her daughter. She goes on to explain some stuff that you probably already knew. Varik had been conducting some experiments, and when the event happened, which would have timed out with the Bloom planet's initial explosion, he was already investigating a way to cross through the phase state, leaving himself open to whatever it was that latched onto the planet. And it started to operate through him. And so he slowly at first, but then with more gusto, began to undermine her, create a little army of his own, turn the tide. So you've got the basics. What do you want to know?
Have you been out of commission since you sent me that video, that distress video?
I was awake for a short period of time after that. That was the moment that everything changed. Within a couple days, Varik had already steeled himself to take over. But he couldn't kill me. That's something that he learned. What?
I said, of course he couldn't.
Of course he couldn't. He feared that the planet would react if he did and turn against him. And he said he was worried the planet would inform the continuum of his arrival. I don't know if that means anything to you, but he kept me alive and used my connection as a means to harness the planet's power. And since then, I have been out of commission, as you put it.
Varik did... I find it hard to believe that he is the orchestrator of all of this, because what's happening here happened on Bloom, and Summoner...
Yes!
Lingorium.
Lamporium, I believe was his name.
Summoner Lingorium passed away, and I told this to fake you, but now that it's real you, he says that he's sorry and he hopes that you don't judge him too harshly.
Her face falls a bit, but she seems to have not quite enough energy to devote to this grief, and maybe is filing it away to meditate on later. She says Varik was not orchestrating anything. We fought, and when doing so, I was able to see him as he was. He had been corrupted. He was a tool, not...
Right. Yeah, that's my dad.
She turns to you,
What?
very inquisitive. What was that?
Just that he's really bad. I saw him in the face date. He looked like a really bad guy.
She squints but nods.
I'm tagged, by the way.
That's my parallel. I have a parallel. Sorry, I forgot I didn't tell you all this. I told to fake you.
It's okay. It's very nice to meet real you.
She takes your hand and squeezes it and says, I can only imagine you were crucial to Bryn's success, and I am in your debt, and I appreciate you taking care to help my daughter.
Oh no, I'm taking notes from this lady over here. She's schooling all of us. Also, I really appreciate you just taking my hand like a normal person and not grabbing my rib, which the fake you did. That was weird as hell. And definitely
I
gives
wouldn't
me a
know
lot of
anything.
confidence that you are a real you and not like a fake ghost phantom person.
She's wonderful, and our planet absolutely does not suck. Now you can see it in all its glory.
Great, I can't wait.
I think that there's time for you to ask the summoner anything else before we move on to the next event. Is there anything else that you want to ask the summoner? I know that we're kind of truncating this. I think that she's just really, I mean, like, it's been a tough month for her. She's also been under an enchanted sleep spell and having all of her power drained. So she's being a little less hospitable than she normally would be, but she is being very, very sweet to you and really just maintaining some proximity to Bryn, keeping a hand on her, just, you know.
Oh, I got an elder scorpion in my staff.
What?
Yeah, we killed it, and then suddenly its essence went into my staff. And then the Sammy serpent, the big serpent went into my staff. That happened too, right? I didn't make that up.
Yes, you got the serpent.
Okay.
Did you show her the staff when you say this?
Yes, I show it to her.
She takes it and looks over the crystals which have absorbed the energy, and she says, "This is very interesting, Bryn. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I do not understand exactly what it is you're saying, but what you're saying does remind me of some of the literature I've come across, some very old journals from previous summoners. We're talking, like first history, just out of the dark ages of this planet. There was some talk. I will need to look into it. I will need to have Verbeek." And she catches herself and she says, I will need to learn how to better use the index in our library so that I can look into this for you. And she squeezes your hand and she says, this is incredible. This is incredible.
Actually, ma'am, if it's not too forward, we couldn't have done this without the help of another group of literary-minded kids here. And I think if you're looking for some assistance, I think that they would love to, operate the library. I don't know what the word is. Run the Rolodex. Do the Dewey Decibel System.
I'm going to make a note that the summoner will, in fact, take you on this tip, and it will be a new asset that will be part of the Fire Planet's arsenal. Like as you free planets, you are able to communicate with them. The Tough Club will be absorbed into the library staff of the palace.
Tough Club.
The Tough Club. And they will need to also be taking up some of the guard duties as honorary guards because shit's been real on this planet and not all of her palace guards are there. So we're going to absorb the Tough Club into the palace guard. That will be handled off screen, but I'm making a note so that I can account for it.
Cool.
What do we do with these other planets? I came here to have you help, or I don't know what I'm doing.
Bryn, I am so sorry. I know that you came a long way for answers, but I do not have any for you right now. I need a moment to think about what it is that's happened. It seems like if this planet was being drained or in some way cut off from the rest and you were trapped on the Bloom planet and you've now successfully unlocked 2 planets. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. And as she's standing there kind of waffling, you hear this roar in the sky from very high above the tower. And Rex, you lean out to look out the window, and it takes you a moment before you recognize that there is an incoming spacecraft, and it is one of Haven's shuttles. And the summoner joins you at the window, and she says, I think that maybe this is your ride?
And before we do anything else, I kind of lean into her, like, this is the summoner, very closely. And I click on that little device, which I've forgotten what I've named it, or what chat named it. Who knows?
Oh.
Timothy Chalamet, I think.
Oh, that's a good name.
Please do.
I click on.
Not. Please do not. The Chalamet, perhaps.
Anyway, I click that on, and I say, I just want you to know, your daughter is incredible. The work that she has been doing is remarkable. I've never seen a summoner like her. I would follow her to the ends of the earth and protect her from all harm. And I know the company hasn't always dealt fairly with your planet.
She does this strange thing, Rex. She actually ruffles your hair. And she in no way looks surprised to hear a warrior agree to give their life to their leader. And she says, I wish you could have met my mother. Bryn comes from a long line of competent leaders. But I do agree that she is very special. And I appreciate you saying so. And as far as the company's concerned, you and they can go to hell. And then she turns around and says, let's meet your friends in the courtyard, shall we? And she goes and leads the way. Rex, grab your stuff, all your stuff. Everybody who's got stuff scattered around the palace, we are going to hand wave that it is picked up for you. The palace.
Can we also hand wave
Varik's armor.
What?
I want to grab Varik's armor.
Oh, okay.
Fancy.
Tag, you may now add corrupted parallel armor to
Okay.
your character sheet.
Don't wear it.
I'm going to just see if it fits. Who knows?
No, don't do it.
To be clear, that's just the name of the item. It is not
Oh,
going
sure.
to be a cursed item that just immediately turns him into a bad guy. Maybe.
Oh, sure it's not.
Yeah.
So she leads you down to the courtyard. And yes, okay. So the shuttlecraft that you saw landing circles until it touches down in the courtyard outside the palace. There is a hiss as the door slides open, and you see Captain Matt Vancil. Matt, you've been stuck in orbit waiting to hear back from the landing party. It's been almost 4 days of silence. The moment the barrier dropped around the planet, you hopped on a shuttle and came down to personally pick them up.
All right.
Welcome to the party, Captain Matt Vancil, our special guest for the rest of our episode tonight. Very pleased to have you.
Very pleased to be had.
I, Trin, am very pleased, but Rex gives you a very sarcastic salute.
Jumpers, welcome.
Captain?
Tag,
Hi,
what
Captain.
are you carrying?
Oh, it's not cursed.
That is going straight into decontamination when we get back to the ship.
Dude, is that just for germs or also corrupted evil
And-
malice?
The germs and the corrupted evil malice, yes.
That's good. Okay.
I'm
great.
going to have to move some stuff around. Hang on. I got my daughter's car seat. Let me. Okay. Yeah, I think I can fit you all now.
Okay, great.
So did the ghosts not cause too much damage when we left?
In a previous episode, Matt, Bryn summoned a ghost illusion that has been haunting the ship irregularly for a couple days now.
Honestly,
Your
it's nice to
interaction
have
with-
something real to blame things on when stuff goes wrong. I mean, the crew was kind of suspecting the gremlins weren't a real thing, but now, hey, we got our own banshee to really keeps them on their toes. Yeah, I told them that she really abhors slacking, and crew efficiency's up 35% since that little mishap.
Wait, are the
Not in
gremlins
any way am I
not a real thing?
endorsing this or saying I agree with it, but it's just, we lemonade out of these lemons.
Yes. So the ghost
You
wasn't
sure
about
that's
it.
not evil? It's like I can see steam coming off of it.
No, I'm so sorry if I miscommunicated, Captain. It is very likely evil.
Okay. All right.
So essentially, what happened is, it's likely evil.
Likely evil?
But if we could just strap it down, I don't think it's going to self-activate or self-destruct. Just don't, wear it.
Don't use it or touch it in any way.
Hey, you haven't touched it, right?
Me?
Hmm?
Huh?
Oh shoot!
Okay, you're also going into decontamination. In fact.
Yes. I secretly wanted to be the kid who runs through the car wash outside of the car, so it's kind of like, all right, this is making lemons for me too.
Well, it was really cool looking armor. I had to at least poke it a little bit.
As you guys are having this conversation and discussing what may or may not have just cursed you for the rest of your life, the radio in the ship crackles, and you hear, "Captain, sir, sir."
It's working now.
Yes. It seems like everything's booted back up, and sir, we've got some disturbing readings up here, and we would request your presence back on the bridge ASAP, sir.
Yeah. Let's get back. The crew's about to shit itself. Come on.
Okay.
Bryn, your mother is looking to you.
I'm gonna walk up to her. I'm gonna say I'm so thankful that you're okay. I've been worrying about you for what feels like weeks. Are you gonna be okay if we leave? If I leave? Do you wanna come?
She laughs and shakes her head, but as you are asking her if she's going to be okay, you can see in the distance, a little bit closer than you would expect, this haze, kind of like the mirage of a hot pavement in the distance. And as you are all looking at it, you see the Tyne. It is their entire village. They have walked in this procession through the city and are now filing into the courtyard, and they are numerous. Matt, the Tyne are an elemental fire species that has a long history with Bryn's family, and they live out in the desert as kind of a mischievous people. They were afraid to enter the town because of the magic that was here. But Zeem, your old friend, approaches and says, "Summoner, so pleased to see you returned." She just nods to Zeem with kind of a half smile and says, "Zeem, great timing." And he says, "What can I say? We were looking for our own skins." But there's this moment where your mother says, I think you don't need to worry about me." And Zeem says, "Don't worry about it. We're here to stay now, and we're going to help everything get put back together." But your mother looks to you and she says, "Bryn, as much as I want you to be here with me to help me put the pieces back together, it's no accident that you were sent away from home the moment everything started to get ripped apart. If you are able to help any other planets..."
Still a few
More
weeks
action?
behind, but I'm sure
Yeah.
whatever is happening is amazing.
It fucking is. She says,
Thank you.
"Who was that? Give us a name." I can't see anything. Sorry, guys.
Sukumija for $15.
Thank you.
Hell yeah!
Hell
Which is
yeah.
actually how much?
$60.
$60.
Amelia says, "If you are able to help the others on these planets, if they are locked away the way that you say, in the way that you saved me, Bryn, I don't think you have a choice. I think this is what you're supposed to do."
Okay. And I lean in to give the customary goodbye, and I say, "Go easy on Zine. He let me meet my dad."
She sighs and kind of rolls her eyes, and she says, "Yeah, wonderful. I will go easy on him. I do have a present for you before you go." She hands you a package that she must have gotten when we were hand-waving all of you picking up your gear. There are 2 items in it. One is a set of her robes. When you put them on, we'll have you describe them to us, but they are just neatly folded and there's a bow on them. They are going to be, if you'd like to wear them, full summoner robes. They will provide 2 magic armor and 1 regular armor.
Whoa!
There is also a small compact mirror in there. And she says, based on Varik's dealings with turning the Tyne and corrupting them, I can only imagine that this is a little late for you now. But just in case you ever need a little help seeing the truth, this is something that was passed down through our family for a long time. It's called the semblance mirror, and it shows someone's true reflection. It is a way to see through enchantments. And I'm sorry that I couldn't have given it to you before it would have mattered, but you'll have it now.
Well, take care of it. Thank you so much.
When you flip it open, Bryn, you see yourself reflected as this shimmering golden goddess-like figure.
That's what's up.
Who's that?
But you flip it closed, and she kisses you on the forehead and goes back to stand next to Zim, and she lets you guys pile onto the shuttle.
Now I want to see what we all look like in that mirror.
I wrote down stuff if you guys do.
If you give me space bubbles, I will definitely play Party Mirror. It'll happen.
Okay, I think that Captain Matt Vancil is more than capable to have piloted this craft down by himself. And it lifts off, and you leave the fire planet and start heading up and away. Your flight is uneventful. When you clear the atmosphere, you see Haven maintaining a steady orbit. Nothing looks out of place. And you head towards the ship. You dock in the docking bay, and when you do, you are pinged again, Captain, from the bridge, and they say, "Sir, it's getting really weird. We request your presence up here."
I'll be right there. And then I'll go there. Yes.
Sure. Y'all want to join him?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody heads to the bridge. When you get there, there's only 2 officers. They salute the moment you step onto the bridge. There's no reason to call officer on deck because there ain't anybody else in there. But they say, "Sir, if you wouldn't mind taking a look," and the navigation officer kind of beckons you over.
All right, take a look at the monitor.
Sure. It's pretty strange. So there is faster than light travel in this universe that uses something called void relays that kind of slingshot you through time. So you pass very quickly while time around passes at a regular time.
Okay.
What you're seeing on this is an anomaly in the space ahead of you, and it looks as though something is caught in that faster than light plane, but it also seems to be trying to break out in a way that you're not familiar with. It's like this ripple that's taking place in like a subspace weird, like it's like readings that you would only see if you too were also traveling in faster than light.
Have the scans given you anything?
You're just getting this feeling of something that is moving in a small pattern as though looking for a weak spot. And as you start to hone in, you can actually see through the view screen that where the most recent patch of disturbances, reality rips open. It's like the very fibers of space and time are being unwoven before your eyes. And for one quick moment, all of you who are on the bridge catch sight of a reality beyond your own. It's a hungry place of black flame and malice, but you've very little time to gather anything more than a feeling before a large spacecraft enters your reality, the rift sealing closed behind it. The ship is roughly the size of one of the company's battle cruisers, which, Captain, you know would house a crew of several dozen people. This strange craft is unlike any you've ever laid eyes on, and you've been flying for a long time. It's 4 to 5 times larger than Haven, jet black, insect-like, and covered in long spines.
Sounds like the Red Dwarf.
You are now confronted with this gigantic foreign anomaly of a ship.
All right. Helm, back us off.
They follow your request, and you start to inch back.
Scan the ship.
You're getting weird readings. It's like the energy that would have been picked up on your scans as something was caught in the faster than light travel is starting to burn off of it. And as this strange energy, which is starting to mess with your scanners, burns away and it more fully embeds itself in your reality, you're getting readings of metals that are not from anywhere you've ever heard of, energy signatures coming from their engines, which you do not recognize. They seem to be running on what... So, space travel in our universe uses void energy. It's a type of magic. This is a different kind of magic. It seems to be like a chaotic bundle of stuff that's just like very unstable coming from their engines. And your scanners are having a hard time. Everything about this thing screams like it should not exist.
And you're saying it's not fully realized or materialized, or it's still sort of coming into resolution?
It's like it's sliding through a membrane.
Sliding through a membrane.
Just now kind of embeds itself as
Okay.
the rest of that strangeness burns away.
Tell me about
So it's here.
Tell me about the fire planet. Does it have any satellites? Any moons?
There are a couple moons around.
All right. Helm, get us behind the nearest moon. Bounce the scan signal off that. I want to be in the shadow so that the thing can't see us, unless they've spotted us already.
There is no reaction from the ship, but you are able to change course and start heading towards a moon. Then the communications officer tells everyone on the bridge, I'm getting a hailing frequency.
Patch him through.
You see on the view screen a dark... You can tell that the camera's working. And
Or
then
her.
someone
Could be a
steps...
female captain. You don't know.
What?
Well, Matt said patch him through.
Oh, gotcha.
It was
Could
them.
be a non-binary person. Yeah. Creature.
You see someone step from the shadows, and Tag, you are the only person on the bridge who recognizes them. They are roughly 7 feet tall, shrouded in a black cloak, wearing black iron armor and a black iron crown. That is more like a battle helmet than anything else.
And I'm seeing this in the vid screen of the other ships, or
You're just seeing it in the vid.
on the ship.
No, you guys have think of it kind of like Star Trek, where you've got a big screen in front of you and you guys are doing like a Zoom call.
Oh, I've been
Ship
thinking
to
about this like Star Trek for the last 7.
I give Tag the stink eye for bringing that exact suit of armor on my ship.
Okay.
We're getting hung up on the armor here. That is a big bug ship. You know, that's not a curse. That's a material threat, Captain.
You hear, piped in through your audio, someone say, simply, deliver us the air.
Okay, mute. Comm officer, say take the translator offline.
Okay, they do.
Okay, put it back through. Saying, sorry, we're having some trouble with our translator. Can you please repeat?
You hear this
Mute. talk to the tactical officer, and if tactical officer isn't there, get tactical officer in there. Say, scan the ship. I want to know what its capabilities are. How fast can it go? What's it armed with? What's its shield situation? And is there are there any other ships in the sector?
There is no
Then go back on.
There is no tactical officer on the ship, but there is a station available that would be where a tactical officer.
Fine,
sits.
I'll do it. I sit at the tactical station.
Got it. Yeah,
I think
so
you
what
could also deputize Rex to do that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think we can create kind of like a command center in which each of you can assume a role.
Rex, I want you at tactical.
Rex crosses
Aye, aye,
tactical, slides our executive key card, and is logged in immediately.
Maxilla is finally unsarcastic.
Roll investigate a mystery. Actually, I think this would be more read a bad situation. Who the fuck are we kidding, right?
Read a bad situation.
That is a 10, my friend.
Okay, so ask some questions. You get 3.
All
They
right.
can just start with W's, or you can use any from the list.
What is the best way to protect ourselves?
Right now, they do not seem to be taking any actions. They have allowed you to take a slow path towards the backside of this moon. You can tell now that you are scanning them that there are a lot of weapons and something has locked onto you, but it does not read as anything that you're familiar with as far as the armaments of a ship go.
All right. I'm very clever. Do I see anything on this ship that I think, that's vulnerable to me?
There does seem to be several parts that could potentially create a shield. The shield is not up. You also recognize something that looks similar enough to what you've seen on your stealth ships to think maybe this thing can cloak.
Ooh. Okay. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Tag looks nervous, but nothing else.
So I almost slipped up in the study earlier. I haven't told these guys about my dad.
No, you came close and you talked to Bryn about something, but you didn't actually take the plunge of confessing anything.
That
You
is good
just-
to know.
You said
I
that
am
you would
terrible
fear.
at tracking character knowledge and player knowledge.
Yeah, you. I heard it though. I heard what you said about Barik. So
No, I definitely covered it.
There are 3 other stations that are not occupied. You've never seen them in use, and Captain, you've never had to use them. This is a small, but like kind of luxury class exploration vessel.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 weapons systems, one on port, one on starboard, and then there would also be kind of like the science officers station.
Okay. And so it's 2 separate weapon stations.
Yes, there will be one side port, one starboard.
All right. Are we currently muted on the channel of the ship?
You can hear, as the translator's been turned off, you're hearing this strange, like, hissing, whispering noise as this entity is talking to you. It's no longer being translated.
All right. So I got one comm station. We got Rex at tactical.
I go to
Tag,
science.
Tag and Puck, could I please have you at the weapons stations? And Bryn, how do you feel about ops or the science station?
science, sure.
All right. That last station is a mini bar. No one work on that right now.
Is there space bubbles for later?
Almost
Fuck,
exclusively.
that's
There's like
reliable.
one bottle of gin, but the rest of it's pretty much just space bubble. It's a very celebratory ship.
All right. Flicker the translator on and off a bit, just so that the next message goes through garbled, saying, "We got a little bit of that. Can you please repeat?" And then turn it off again.
You can now see that the shields have activated on the ship, and they've started a slow crawl at like impulse to just start to head your direction, but they're strafing. They're not pursuing you directly. They're just making sure that you won't be able to get right behind the moon without them keeping you in sight.
That's fine. Okay. Bryn, I want you to scan the place where they came through in the anomaly and tell me if there's any sort of residual signature there. If we're able to create the anomaly again, maybe that'll pull them back in. I don't know. And I'm going to do a scan of the ship and see if I can determine what the system is that they're locking on us with, what sort of technology they're using, since you said it was kind of not something we're familiar with.
Sure. So, Bryn, what you see is the shipboard AI kick on and compensate for your lack of procedural knowledge. And this very complex array of buttons that are in front of you, kind of projected from this hollow screen, start to minimize and thin out. And so you've got a very kind of point and click thing that you can now interact with that does not, you can tell that it doesn't have like all of the technical capabilities that the other interface would have, but you are no longer lost. You're no longer in the weeds. You can see how to start scanning things. There's just like a button that says scan, and then you're able to aim.
Ooh, did
so-
I leave that on kid mode? My daughter likes to scan asteroids when she's up here. I can switch it back if that's. Are you good? No, you're good. Okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right.
Roll read a bad situation. I think investigate a mystery now.
Who?
You.
Me?
You're scanning, yeah.
All right. God,
Push those buttons. Beep, boop,
Don't
boop,
embarrass
beep,
me
boop.
in front of the captain. What do I add to that?
You're adding sharp.
That's an 8.
Okay. You can ask me 2 questions. If you want to just have the rift question be answered, what exactly were you looking for, Matt? Captain Matt?
I was looking for, is there anything, any residual particles or harmonics from the anomaly, such that we might be able to duplicate them, increase them, and cause the rift to reopen?
Sure. It looks like, Bryn, as you're scanning this thing, you can see that there is this tether. It's like a absence of it's in the shape of a coil that is keeping this thing connected to where it came through. It's like somebody zipped a shoelace in a tent flap, because the rift is, for all intents and purposes, closed, but there is this tendril connecting the ship back through.
There's like a tendril thing coming out of the rift. I mean, the rift is technically closed, but
You
there
talking
is
about-
something that's tethering it to the ship. So maybe it
Umbilical.
Kind of like when somebody zips a shoelace into a tent flap.
exactly.
That happens to me literally all the time.
I'm remembering why I don't invite you guys to the bridge.
Mm-mm. I'm okay.
Okay.
So if I'm by Puck, kind of trying to seem like I know how to man a weapon station. Hey man, look, I don't want this to be like a weird thing to say, but you kind of like non-human. What? I don't know. You got any insight on these creatures?
Sure.
Puck, they're actually speaking a very, very, very ancient dialect of the Spriggan language, where you are familiar with it fragmenting into an elemental version of each. This seems to be, it's like if we were looking at Latin compared to any of the Romantic languages. It seems to be some kind of source language. And so you're actually able to pick up some of the words that they're saying. It's a broken understanding, but you do recognize it as a very old elemental language.
Yes, based off what I've been able to interpret so far, they want the air.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What-
Well, I don't think.
What kind of atmosphere do they breathe?
I think it's with an H.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
Homophones.
it's all right. I'm distracted as well. Bryn got the science console, and I got stuck with shooting. So disappointing.
Do you want to switch? I mean,
She's already probably looking at minerals and.
Bryn, do you want to shoot lasers out of the ship or do science?
Gosh, the lasers!
Oh,
You guys can switch if you'd like.
switch me! He immediately scampers over to the science station and then clamps his big stony paws together. I mean, the lasers are all yours. You go
I'm
now.
really glad to see you, Puck. Just FYI.
Oh yes.
Please stick around for a while, like forever.
Well, Yes. I'm getting a browbeating on the old inside of my brain. She's not pleased. She feels like that perhaps. Oh, this is for another time. That there's the let me get some science intel.
Puck, roll investigate a mystery. As Bryn saddles over to the firing controls and feels much more at home.
I give Bryn a straight up high five as she mans the lasers next to me.
Oh, we're together? Oh, good. Then I want to talk. I want to talk.
I have no
okay.
answers, especially about familial matters.
8.
All right, you can ask
Terrible
me
liar
2
tag.
questions. What would you like to know?
Is there are they is the material that the ship is made out of, is that a known substance, or is that also a foreign substance?
It would be something that no one else on this ship would recognize, but because of your time with your... What is your void species called?
Spriggan.
Spriggan. Is that specifically the void species is called Spriggans?
Yes.
Yes. And so, because of your time with the Spriggans, you've realized that this is something that would be spoken of. The gates that are used to return to existence after you go into the planet and come back,
Mhm.
the gates there would be made out of something like this.
Oh. Mhm. Yes. That's okay. Yes.
It'd be the last thing you see before you're reincarnated.
Yeah. This came from a long way away. This is an ancient material. Is there? What is the best approach for a diplomatic communication with these folks?
As of right now, they seem to be keeping the hailing frequency open and falling for the ruse that Captain Matt Vancil is laying on them. They seem, if they are an ancient culture, to never have been hearing the "I'm going through a tunnel" before. So they are falling for it, and they are patiently waiting for the connection to be reestablished. So as of right now, it seems like they are open to talk. All they've done
Every
so
once in a
far
while,
is-
I just push it on and go.
All right. To continue the ruse, I go over to like a side panel, and I open up like an unrelated system and start messing with the wires and like signaling to Matt Vancil like I'm working on the systems.
Stay out my
Yeah.
mini bar. No, it's fine.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You've got some information about them. Their hailing frequency is still open, and you now know that they are an ancient species, perhaps related in some fashion or a precursor to this. Puck is a rather large void elemental. It's like a nullifying kind of magic,
Mhm.
and so he is just like he's like the Tine, those fire creatures from the other planet. So that's why he has this insight into this culture.
Captain, if we should be shooting, just give me a little heads up. I'm about 4 pages into the manual here. It is rather thick, but I think it's one of those things where the manual just looks thick because it's a small bit of text printed in many different languages.
We don't need the manual. We can just shoot. There's a button.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're good then.
Okay,
Bryn
I'm
clicks
a
gonna
little
press
switch.
the button for the child locks on the weapon system.
2 joysticks pop out, one in front of each of you, but they are currently child locked, so that you can grab them, but the buttons
Banging
don't-
it a little bit. I'm like, ugh, it's stuck.
It's like those arcade machines when you don't have any quarters and you just try and move the thing around to make it
Exactly.
right. It's
Oh,
the
I'm not
exact
good.
thing.
Oil or something?
I'd like to sidle over to one of the nearest weapons station and see if. You know what? I'll do it. Here, want to check and see if we can detect that tendril that Bryn mentioned. If the weapon station's targeting computer can lock onto it or registers it as anything.
They aren't grabbing it. It seems to be more of a tactical's picking it up, and science is really being able to see it with its scans. But the weapons, they are seeing empty space.
Okay.
I lean over to the captain. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, say, Puck, while you're down there, can you reroute tactical and sciences scanners into the weapon system?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Very good. Are you looking for a job?
Well, if we survive.
All right.
This will be a straight
Well,
plus
let's-
sharp roll.
A which?
Just plus sharp.
Man, you'd much rather have Sam on this. Okay. I want to keep that, but one fell off, so we're going again.
It's an honorable Spriggan.
7.
Okay. You are able to reroute the wiring, but in doing so, you accidentally expose yourself to some of it, and you catch this big shock, which then reverses. And it's almost like the alternator part of the weird, crazy rocket engines absorbs your energy. And Sam is actually holding the wires and going, "Wah!" As Puck shifts back into
Yes!
his other form.
Oh, yes!
Matt,
Yes!
also to fill you in, Puck is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of character,
okay,
and he has now been reverted to human form.
Oh, I tied those
Grumpy
wires
human
off real
form.
quick. Just tie those bad boys off. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's science.
Hey, Sam.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I look up at the view screen. Yeah, figures. That makes sense. Yeah, great. Well,
Tactical, you've actually now, Rex, you have now received that the weapons that had locked onto you, it's like a secondary
Captain, there's
mode.
some
Yeah, we're like
weapons
the
locked
safety
onto
spot.
us.
They're still holding.
They're not gonna fire just yet, but they're preparing. I mean, they could. Do you think we could get on the line and tell them, oh, sorry guys, we don't have any rabbits here?
I'll beat him to the punch, Captain. I just start pressing the child locked fire button repeatedly.
I just like
I
Yeah,
pointed
just
out
like
to
click,
my
click,
wife
click,
bought
click.
me on those. I said it was worth it. It's worth the extra. You pay for it now, and it's much less in the insurance afterwards. Right?
Captain, these are broken. I don't know what's wrong with your.
I don't get it.
laser
It's all right. I'll fix it in a second here. Yeah, we kept them waiting for a bit. Let's patch them through. Oh wait, before that,
puts them on.
in the fight, was Bryn injured at all?
Yeah.
Everybody was. I think everybody's injured right now, right?
When we patched through, we were audio only, right? They haven't seen us.
If you want to have that be the case, that's fine.
Yes, we'll keep it on audio. Well, no, we did see them, but they didn't see. Well, yeah.
Look, we've all been in that Zoom call where someone else throws up their camera and you're just not feeling it, and so you don't throw on yours. That's
Fair
a
enough.
totally
Okay.
acceptable move at this point.
So then it's not a lie to say, okay, patch them through.
They do.
All right, we've got the translator working now.
Excellent. We request you send us the air in one of your shuttlecraft. We will receive them, and then you can be on your way.
Why do you need the air?
Disciplinary action.
Upon whose authority?
The other.
Can you be more specific?
We've entered into your reality on a short scouting mission simply to retrieve the heir and bring him home.
Specifically, you've entered into our reality. You are addressing the sovereign of the planet below us, in whose space we are currently in orbit.
We respect your current authority, though we plan to change the power structure of this reality as we have changed ours. But for now, we will honor this agreement and enter into a truce provided you give us the heir.
And Tag is just like made itself real small, just like kind of hid around the base, like trying to like climb into the minibar.
Oh no.
But we don't know that's who they're referring to, do we?
I don't think so.
Nope, and hopefully we'll keep it like that.
The only heir that you've heard of is Bryn being.
That's what
the
I'm thinking.
heir
It's like,
to the
I'm not
Senate.
giving you the leader of the sovereign planet.
I'm admiring my mother's robes, and I'm like, do I put them on? Do I wield my authority? I don't know.
We are prepared to take the air by force, but we would prefer not to.
Who's the air?
Well, they can't blow us up. So with the air.
Who is the heir?
This entity does not have a face that is visible to you. They're shrouded, kind of ring wraithy style. But there is a cock in the head of somebody who is trying to formulate the correct words. They say, the one who has been in contact with us, the one in touch with the malice.
Is that how you're in touch with
please.
the malice?
Yeah, no, I think maybe it's the wrong number. Sorry.
Is this the Tyne? Is this a joke?
Yeah,
Is this a test?
Is
Very
Ashton
funny
Kutcher on that
dream.
ship? Because that's good.
We do
Does
not
anyone know what he's
know
talking
this
about?
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, he's all right. He's a little overhyped.
Jesse, while they're futzing with distracting these people, I'd like to try to figure out I'd like to scan the umbilical again and try to figure out what the energy is, if there's any way if our weapons could disrupt it, or if there's like maybe a energy pulse or something we could do that would disrupt or cause the coil to
Sever?
yeah.
Sure. It reads kind of like the stuff that was draining onto the throne on the fire planet and what exploded out of Tag's mouth when he started puking. It's this like a complete negative. It shouldn't exist there. And so rerouting the guns as you did, the reason they're able to target on this thing now is they're looking for that anomaly, that like absence in space. They can find that and lock on. You can tell me as a group what kind of weapons this thing has. I don't have anything in mind for Haven, and it's a company vessel that would be like decked out. So if you want some funky shit, you're welcome to have it.
Well, I think because we only get one shot at it, we might want to try a bunch of stuff all at once and hope that some of it sticks. I have a feeling that the second they realize what we're going to do, they're going to be like, no. So, whether it's, photons and like sonic waves and big magic and like throw it all at that spot and hope that one part of it is like the scissors to its paper.
Yeah, you guys can lock on and fire whenever you'd like to.
I feel like you're describing the aeronautical equivalent of those guns that Gary Oldman buys in Fifth Element. They just have like the net shooter, the bullets, the flamethrower, just
That's
all
a good
at once.
reference.
That's right. Well, we had 4 stones, so we have 4 crates.
Yeah, that sounds great. Mute.
Alex, I can do that.
Yeah, let's definitely. This conversation doesn't seem productive. They're talking doo-doo talk. So yeah, let's light them up.
All right, stand by to jump to whatever the equivalent of faster than light is.
There is one restriction to that. You will not be able to go faster than light unless you make it to a void relay, of which there is a kind of like 2-day journey or something. You're stuck on impulse, which makes you kind of stranded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can we board their ship? Take them out
You are
from
welcome
inside?
to, yeah.
And
Yeah, you can
several
do that.
dozen.
Basically, I'm just saying, like, the only option that's not available to you right now is a warp out of here option. You can run; it just won't be at faster than light. You can fight. You can board them.
Let's board them. We can take them out from the inside. Look, we just took down a whole. I don't even know what to call it. That was decimating the fire planet. We could take down a.
Hang on. Computer, unmute.
It unmutes.
What do you want?
I should have put the child lock on the mute button.
The figure says, "I am Ashael Keturah Pipe Wolferstan. Who is addressing me?"
What do you want with the air? What do you, who is addressing me? This isn't, we're not following diplomatic protocol. You showed up out of the fabric of space-time in a giant bug ship demanding we surrender someone to you. You've given no further explanation about your motives or your intentions beyond, quote, disciplinary or punitive. Do you think that that's how it works?
We're simply trying to return a fugitive back to our place, our realm, where they belong, where they came from. They've been here for some time, operating under an alias, but it is time for them to come home if they refuse to complete their mission. Tag.
I think Pipperstein was just referring to me. Well, if this fugitive, you know, what the oh boy, this is.
And you didn't tell them your name.
What's up?
You did not tell them your name.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't tell them our coordinates either. They just warped right next to us, so presumably they have some kind of information here.
Okay, mute. Tag, spill the beans. What's going on? Something's going on. You called Barik Dad.
Bad. What a bad.
That's your name,
Here's a
and you're
bad-
an heir. Come on, spill the tea.
I look around at the group, who's all staring at me from different sides of the deck of the ship. Okay, this is not how I plan to do this. Bryn, I was gonna have a private conversation with you.
We can do this privately if you would like.
Oh, we can just do this privately now.
I
We can
tap
just-
on the tooth communicator, and I'm like, there, now we're private.
No, I'm not going to talk to you telepathically in a room full of 5 other people watching us. That's very clearly rude. I don't really believe that they're going to say, oh, never mind, we'll wonder what they were going to talk about. So now we're all talking about it, okay? We're all talking about it. As some of you know, and some of you don't, because it hasn't seemed necessary for me to divulge all of my childhood trauma, I don't know who my parents are. There are some dudes who say that they are my parents.
Dudes? Multiple?
It's mainly one guy who he's just it's like a con man probably, but yeah, he just wants me to go with him, and you know, I don't really want to go with him, so fuck, I'm being so inarticulate. I did not expect to be put on the spot like this.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? If there's any information that you have that could help us get rid of this guy, maybe just share that, and we can talk about the long story later.
Okay, thank you. I will absolutely do that. I only spoke up because I don't want us to just throw our lives away jumping onto this bug ship as a undergunned raiding party. Not without. Just let him. I'll go. I'll just go.
I'm going with you.
No.
Yep.
Captain, I think that you'd agree that the summoner should not be shipped onto the bug ship.
I agree that the summoner should not be shipped onto the bug ship. I also agree that the summoner is the sovereign of the planet below, and that if you were to ask for asylum as a refugee, throw it to the head of the government of the planet in whose orbit we are currently sitting, then I could offer you more protection.
Okay, is there a form? Do I just declare asylum?
It's kind of in the verb declare asylum.
I would like asylum.
Okay, there we go.
That was incredibly easy. I feel like countries could really learn a thing or
People
two
get
about
really hung
that
up on
process.
that. Yeah, it doesn't need to be as long a process as it is.
Great.
Okay. Tag now has been granted asylum from the sovereign of the fire planet.
All right, Tag, go to your quarters for a while, just for a moment, if you would.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Let it be known I am not okay with this, because what would
Also-
you say if I tried to leave?
You
And
kind of
told
put me on the fucking spot, Bryn. All right, I was gonna handle it in a low-key, discreet way. I didn't have a speech plan for this.
By what?
Put me
Sneaking
on
off the
blast.
ship?
By what?
Sneaking off the ship?
I wasn't
Is
gonna
that
sneak
what
off the
you're
ship. I
gonna
was
do?
just gonna, chat with him and
You can still do that.
Okay.
So, if you would, grab that evil armor and put it in one of the shuttle pods, and maybe we send that over.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe
Yes,
that's
sir.
also from the reality that those guys are looking for.
You're saying like you're saying like that I just as a ruse that I died and here's my armor, guy, because I think that they just heard me yapping at them.
You run for it. The shuttle pod is damaged, hits the atmosphere, burns up. They scan for it. They find the pieces of the armor in it down below.
Okay.
All right. Tag leaves the bridge to go put the armor onto the shuttle pod.
I'll patch through to them and say the heir is making arrangements, clearing out his quarters, and we'll be heading over in a shuttle pod shortly.
We appreciate your cooperation in this matter. Why do you hide from us? The big screen's still off, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, to be honest, your ship is a little visually jarring. It activates an atavistic fear in the hindbrain of my species. We have a primeval fear of the dark and of certain arthropods that we consider poisonous. Your ship is similar in its morphology to dangerous arthropods and certain deep-sea creatures and was unsettling to my crew. We also didn't know what you looked like individually, and so we kept the view screen off so that my more squeamish crewmates would not panic at their stations. I apologize if this has caused you offense.
Yeah. It is a symptom of our desire. These ships were designed to strike such fear. We are aware of your species' failings as a young creature and the baggage you carry. And so the forms we take and the ships that we've built are designed to do just that. We've no use for ships in our reality. So these vessels which we've been using to cross over, I'm glad to hear that they're effectively designed.
It's just quite striking. Quite striking, yes. We had to put down a small mutiny of people who wanted to attack or flee quite immediately there. You,
Wonderful.
for not having much experience on this side of reality, you certainly did your homework. I'm quite impressed.
Oh, we've been watching for some time.
For how long, exactly?
Since we were banished. So I suppose it would be many lifetimes for a human like you.
Like 6?
No, more like 6 million.
From where were you banished?
From this place. We were
Firefly?
born of the continuum, same as all of you and same of all of your planets. Our planet was sent away because it was accused of disrupting the balance. We're here to return, and because we are angry, seek revenge on the continuum.
I certainly understand your motivation. You've been seeking revenge for over 6 million human lifetimes?
It is but a blink in the lifetime of our species.
How long do you live? What are your species called?
We are the other. We have no defined lifespan. We are eternal.
Your name for yourself is a reflexive pronoun?
I suppose when you put it like that, yes. And shots fired, sir. We will live for as long as there is life for us to consume.
You eat or consume life energy?
Yes, all energy.
Was that why you were banished?
Oh, I suppose it had a lot to do with it, yes. But we are just a product of our design. It was not our choice. We came into this place, as all others did, to perform the duties that were given to us by the continuum. We did not choose to consume. It was a misstep in their calculations. They thought that there would be a surplus of energy, and so we were created to consume it, to balance, to keep the balance. But we were designed to perfectly. and we began to overtake the other planets. There were
That's
3
alright.
more elements.
3 more elements as opposed to the 6 we have now?
Yes.
What were the 3?
There were 2 that would not make any sense to you. One that is a pure kind of light. It is used to create time. There was another that is used to, well, in the same way that we are used to consume life, this was used to consume time. And the third is a type of fire, which we have now factored into our weaponry.
Would those weapons work here if those elements have been stripped out of this reality?
As surely as we have crossed over, so have the pieces of the puzzle that we have brought with us.
May we see a demonstration? There are plenty of asteroids in orbit.
You will see a demonstration as soon as we are in possession of the air.
Is that a threat?
I don't think so.
Upon what will you demonstrate your power?
It has been some time since you've promised us the air, and we have seen no vessels leave your craft.
Scan my ship. You can see. You'll find his biosign near the shuttle bay, I hope.
Tag, what are you doing?
Oh shit! I was sent to my quarters, so I think I went there.
Okay. The armor that you've been told to
I want to
retrieve.
play
will be there.
along, Vancil, not Captain Matt Vancil, but actual person Matt Vancil. But I think Tag might have fucked this up.
Fair enough. Create a dramatic moment.
I mean, I'm back in my quarters. I think I'm just twiddling my thumbs. I feel chastised. I feel like I'm in timeout. I think I'm carrying a lot of shame with me that I not only have put my team in this situation, but that I was caught in a lie, essentially.
All right, we cut back to the bridge, and Ashael says, "We have done as you asked and scanned your ship. The air's life signs are mid-deck. There is no one near the ports at which your shuttles leave. You've lied to us, and now we will grant your wish. You will see a demonstration of our weapons." And in that moment, their ship cloaks.
Well, pooh. Okay. Let's hit the child weapon locks off and fire the everything at that umbilical.
Okay. You're going to have the one person on the guns going to roll, I think, just act under pressure.
Okay, can I open my communication to Tag?
You may.
Tag!
Yeah, look, I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to.
Don't be sorry you didn't do anything wrong. I was an asshole. But I need you down here right now to help me. We get to fire the guns. They took the child lock off.
The captain, one, fuck yeah, that's awesome. 2, the captain sent me to my room. I mean, I'm in timeout, aren't I?
Well, I relieve you of timeout. I'm pretty sure I have jurisdiction here. Come on.
Is this like the asylum thing again?
Yes. Maybe,
Okay.
I don't know. Come shoot some guns with me.
Okay, yes. I'll scurry back to the bridge.
Okay.
But I will knock before I come in.
Bryn is going to take one shot in the time it takes you to get there. So, Bryn, roll act under pressure.
Is that plus tough?
It is plus cool.
Oh. That's a 5.
You do not hit the umbilical cord, but your blast of... What are you shooting? What are you shooting with these guns?
With the joystick?
Yeah, what does a joystick shoot?
Everything.
It shoots like pink bars of lasers. Ow.
And Puck, or sorry, Sam, when you were talking about kind of live loading all of the different armaments, what else would it be shooting with the pink lasers?
So let's see. Some sort of high sonic shear and a tachyon ripple effect, as well as a low a high radiation arc. Admiral Akbar.
Okay, so what happens is this.
Rex also definitely installed some aftermarket, like,
Oh no, you're frozen. Some aftermarket what?
What?
I'm so excited about that.
Aftermarket what?
Aftermarket what?
You froze. No.
Oh, no.
Give us that aftermarket one more time, Rex. She
Oh,
keeps frozen right before she says it.
We're never getting it. Maybe type it.
Pellets.
What? She's typing it. She's typing it.
She looks too happy about what this is.
She has some good freeze frames too. It's rare to get such a non-goofy series of freeze frames.
Oh, I'm so excited. It must be very rare in the aftermarkets.
It's a long brand name.
We're getting it. Rex, if we want to have you.
I did it
Oh
on
wait.
I did it on the chat.
All right.
I think I'm gonna have to.
You jump out and jump back in. This is what happens. The sonic
reconnect
shear,
with y'all.
the tachyon ripple, and the high radiation arc all hit the tether and are immediately absorbed by the malice that is connecting it. But you get a very clear view, even without stepping into the phase state, that has been absorbed. And then at the last second, this little pink laser zoop, 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 misses the umbilical and then tags the shield that is around the vessel, revealing it for just a moment. And its cloaking ripples away. You are now sitting there as they return fire. So Tag, as you open the door and walk back
I
onto
don't
the
open the door.
as you knock, this huge, it's like a neon green vortex that builds up in these two long cannons on the front of this ship, and they launch these like plasma comets that start arcing towards you. They do not hit. If you were playing Overwatch, they are not hit scan. So you are seeing kind of a bullet time travel as these two plasma comets are starting to float towards you. Pretty quickly, so you're not going to have much time, but you're not getting hit immediately. Tag, do you want to do anything before they take evasive maneuvers and or fire back? You are standing outside the bridge.
Yeah, let me try to tune in to that ship. Because I feel that rumble. I know that we started combat, and I know that we do not stand a chance against 6 million old element sucking technology.
Do you want to talk to the ship, or do you want to try and tune into Ashael?
Well, not the ship as a sentient entity, so whoever's there. Yeah, whoever's on the bridge there.
Sure. Roll it. Or do you have to roll it?
No.
Okay.
I guess I can roll to... Yeah, I should roll.
Just roll plus weird. You're reaching out across space.
8.
You do feel a link happen. The partial success aspect of it is that you can tell that you will now not be able to turn this link off, but you are in tune with this person.
Okay. Okay. What the hell? This is not the way to go about this.
We asked very nicely.
But you didn't ask very nicely. You said that it was my duty to blow up the world. You know, your words, not mine. That's not a very nice ask. Also, a nice ask would have been like, I don't know, be in there for me as a kid.
We've beat around this bush plenty, Tag.
Oh my
We
god.
are the
Don't
dominant
tell me
force
that I'm repeating
here.
myself.
We're not going to tiptoe around your buddies. You refuse to embrace your destiny, we're taking you home. You want to act like a child, you're going to get a spanking.
So what's your end game here? You take me home or you blow up the ship?
We would prefer not to destroy you, but yes, the ship will be destroyed.
And so what use am I to you dead?
Not much, but honestly, it would be better than you being alive and on the loose. We would prefer to keep you because we need to recycle you into the next iteration. But we're willing to start all over if we have to. 6 million years is but a blink of an eye.
If 6 million years is but the blink of an eye, let me try out being a young adult a little bit, and then you can send me to whatever nefarious destiny you have in mind.
We were going to give you the benefit of a doubt and let you have your rebellious teenager phase, but you've made it clear that you are going to align yourself with these humans and that you feel your destiny is to rebel against us. That's not rebellious teenager phase anymore. That's mature thinking, and we can't have that.
Well, thank you. That's a compliment, first of all.
You're welcome.
These guys aren't part of this fight.
I know. In a way, you're correct, but they are also harboring you. They are assisting you in your escape and your battle against us. They're really just kind of a pain in the ass, and we want to just nip this one in the bud.
What do you need? What do you need me to do? You think that I've made some immalleable declaration of loyalty? What would show you that I haven't?
Well, you could assassinate the captain of your ship, take control of it, and fly over to meet us. We would very much like to have the summoner in our possession, though it is not a necessity.
Okay. Screw you guys. I was
That's
gonna
honestly.
walk down this lane, but you couldn't have just a little ask, like, I don't know, take an oath, say a pledge, do a special handshake. It had to be assassinate the captain, hand over my friend.
Tag, when you are able to fully assume the mantle of your powers, you will be able to destroy a planet with a thought. To assassinate a captain and deliver us a summoner is about as small of an ask as we're going to get.
Okay. So you just want me?
Yeah.
To train me?
No. You will be destroyed, but you will be recycled and you will have another chance.
And if I hand myself over, then what will you do with the ship?
We'll let them go.
How do I know that that's true?
How do we know anything?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
What do you want? A pledge of loyalty? What do you need?
Okay, don't turn my words against me. Fine. Stop. Don't fire. Stop. I'm coming right now.
Everyone on the bridge, you see that the plasma comes to a halt and hovers there. And who's on tactical? Rex?
Tex. Yeah.
You see that those are still live weapons and you are still being targeted, and something about them has slowed. We're going to pause there, and Captain Matt Vancil, as you see these things slow and stop, what do you do?
Okay. Does the moon that we were heading towards, is that a rock ball or does it have an atmosphere?
There are 3. 2 of them have atmospheres. Bryn would tell you that they use them for farming, and the one that is closest to you is just kind of a rock ball, but none of them would be too far away to get to.
All right. Were the plasma comets following us? Were they tracing us?
Yeah, they seem to be some kind of homing technology.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to wait for... I'm going to tell Helm, take us into the atmosphere, skimming the top. As you do that, fire an incendiary torpedo out the aft shaft and ignite it there. We're going to try and create basically a burn back and burn all the oxygen and the ozone out, so if the plasma comets hit, they have nothing to continue through and will flare out.
Okay, so you're going to just roll an act under pressure to make sure that this maneuver goes off, and Bryn, because you're still at the weapons, you're going to roll an act under pressure. We're going to give you kick some ass, okay? But in doing so, you will be putting your ship in the danger zone. So you're going to get plus tough, but you're also going to potentially get hurt.
So I do it with the tough modifier?
You're going to be rolling plus cool. Bryn is going to be rolling plus tough.
Heck yeah.
I think she failed. That's her failed roll face.
Wait, don't I get an extra +2 because of Rex believing in me?
That was for like one thing. And you used it on the ritual. Rex believes in everybody, okay?
Absolutely not.
What did you roll
She
there,
doesn't
Captain?
believe in
I rolled
most
an 8.
people.
Okay. And Bryn? 6. That is a failure. Why don't you tell us what you do, Captain Matt, knowing that the torpedo aspect of this is not going to go as planned?
Okay. I will. If that's not happening, I'm going to drop the landing gear, which should create a lot more friction in the atmosphere, maybe to the point where the air itself would ignite.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work, I will vent some incendiary plasma out the weapons system.
Yeah, to be clear, you're going to be able to do everything you wanted in your maneuver, but because she failed her plasma roll, it's just going to be that she launches it and it just doesn't do exactly what you want.
All right.
So your ship maneuver is going to go okay.
Well, all right then.
Okay. So you dump out the plasma in the back, and what ends up happening is those homing, the green homing plasma comets that had frozen are now coming back after you, and they do hit that atmosphere, or the lack of atmosphere, and start to slow and curve down towards the rock. But in this maneuver, Tag, I imagine everybody who's sitting at a station is hooked in. Tag, you are thrown and tumbled to the what turns into the floor, but is actually the wall as the ship rolls, and the ship takes 3 points of harm.
The ship itself?
The ship itself.
Ooh, how many points of harm does it have?
Haven has 15.
Before it just blows up?
Well, that's not good.
But unlike you guys, it can't just be healed with a med kit. So as you hit 5 harm tiers, bad stuff happens to the ship. We're going to go to Puck because we haven't checked in with the science officer in a while. As these maneuvers are happening, Puck, Sam. What is Sam doing?
So Sam is trying to figure out basically if, even though the frequencies of the variety of energies that we hit the tether with were able to make contact with it but didn't have the desired disruption effect, I'm going to try to figure out if any of those items would work just presented differently or transmitted differently, or if there's yet another thing that the ship is capable of doing that could disrupt the tether, basically.
Sure. Roll investigate a mystery.
12.
Okay, yeah. I'm just going to give you an answer to your question, and then I'm going to give you 2 more questions that you can ask based on the information you get. Nothing on the ship, no technology is going to fuck with that thing. Okay. But you've seen what Bryn has done to Rifts and her interacting, and Tag as well, interacting with this kind of stuff before. You get the impression that magic could maybe help you here.
All right. Do I think the magic should be directed at the portal itself? Where is the effective point of focus for the magic? Where should I have them direct the magic?
The tether looks weakest. It is being stretched between wherever this thing came from, and it seems to be some kind of lifeline to the ship itself. And as the ship is maneuvering, you are seeing that you're actually able to start tracking this cloaked vessel because you can see where the tether is stretching. They have not broken contact completely from wherever they are from.
Cloak their cord.
Mm-hmm.
I abandon my final question and try to use that time to communicate with Bryn. Bryn, there's nothing on this ship that is going to affect that tether. And as much of a crack shot as you've been so far with the joystick, I think that you are much better suited for using the magic that you have been cultivating your whole life. And if you have the ability to summon something big and fierce for that tether, I think you may be our only hope.
Are we looking at, what are we trying to do to the tether?
Push it
back in? I don't know.
You think that you could potentially sever it. That would be the weakest thing. It's like a cord that's getting taut as it's stretched, and you think that there's a way maybe you could break it.
It's like an artery. Just slice it.
But then he'll still be here. But
I think it's the source of their power. It may be the source of their power, like pulling like a plug out of like a vacuum cleaner or something like that.
Okay. I guess.
Tag, we are back to you. You've just been thrown into the wall as you feel the ship take some heavy evasive maneuvers, and you feel like maybe it also took a little damage.
The hell was that? What was that? I thought we had a deal.
Your friends are doing some hijinks.
No, I know this group. Hijinks is the last thing that any of them would get up to.
You're saying that with a straight face.
Yeah, what? Look at you. I'm saying it with a straight face. Do we need to do this like pedestrians? I have to get into escape pod and come to you? We're people of the face state. Can I just not surrender myself in that form?
It is a possibility, though there are dangers.
To who?
You. Your body is fragile in this human
You're
form.
going to destroy me. That's your whole purpose.
But we can't have it happen here or your energy disperses into this realm. We need to consume it. You need to be recycled, Tag.
And I can't hang up. Will you just give me a second with my... Just please exercise a little bit of, I don't know. You must have tapped into the empathy core processor of a human before and understand that while I may be one of your little hellspawn, I was raised with feelings. I'd like to have a minute or two before I'm recycled into evil matter.
5 minutes is all you get. And you hear the line, go quiet. And you're certain that it actually has been put, it's like you've been put on hold. So you will know when it is reactivated, but it is currently dormant.
Okay. And I'll start heading to the void reactor as fast as I can.
Okay. It's not very far away from you, if I remember the layout of Haven correctly. You can get to it from the top deck. Yeah, you're right next to it if you were standing right outside the bridge. It's a short walk.
Okay.
You are at the door.
I'm gonna tap in with Bryn.
Okay.
Hey. How was firing the lasers?
Interesting. Doesn't really work like my staff,
Oh, bummer.
but it was fun.
That's cool. That's cool. Look, I'm really sorry that if it seemed like I was hiding stuff. I honestly felt ashamed and guilty. I don't know what the deal is with these folks, but they're not lying. I am a part of them. I can feel it. Felt it since the first time that they talked to me when I thought that I was talking to your mother. I felt it there too. It's a sense of belonging. It's a sense of home, and I've tried to reject them, and that's why I didn't say anything, because I thought that I could just block them out, and I thought that I could just say no, say that I didn't want to be a part of that. But it looks like that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Can't you be a part of them on your own terms?
I think that they're a pretty evil. I think being a part of them on my own terms would not give me a lot of room to maintain a moral standard. There's no reason to beat around the bush. I think that I'm supposed to destroy the world, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not just like littering and stuff like that. Like, they are bad dudes.
Well, do you want to fight them?
I do, and I think that I have figured out how.
Whoa, okay.
But I am gonna just need you to trust me, and I'm not gonna be able to give you a whole explanation. But if I die at their hands, they recycle me, they bring me back, they reboot the program, and send me off to do this again. So we need to make sure that they don't have that opportunity.
No.
Their weakness is me. We need to
clone you.
Yeah, that would make for a good flick. No, we need to destroy me.
I'm not going to destroy you. I already destroyed one parallel. I'm not doing another one.
I know. I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you goodbye.
No. No, that's not happening. Sorry. You're bonded to me for life. Technically, I'm your superior, and I'm going to order you not to die.
As this conversation is happening telepathically, your ship, Captain Matt Vancil, is now slingshotting around the moon, and you are flinging yourself back towards the area where you first saw the ship appear, though it is not the area where the shots were fired from. You are just headed back towards where you first saw the ship enter this reality.
Okay. Has any of the information these two have discovered been relayed to the rest of the bridge?
That is up to these two. Puck, Rex.
I definitely have tried to relay that information to Bryn in the hopes that she will use her magic and maybe, not that I know about her telepathic communication, but at least offer that as an alternative to start with before going to plan B, which is, also on the table. I also volunteer Puck to die to save Tag.
I keep calling you Puck. You're Sam, and yes, this is totally...
No, Sam is just volunteering Puck that if that helps the group at all and Puck needs to die, he's told me multiple times that he's available and wants to be a team player. So
yeah, Captain Matt Vancil, you have heard Sam relay to Bryn that magic is the way to sever what might be their power cord.
All right. What do you think, Sovereign? You feel like taking another shot at that?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, I would. So here's what I'm thinking. I don't want to shoot magic from inside the ship because I've done that before and I blew us up multiple times. So I need some kind of escape hatch. And Rex, you know this ship really well. If we can build some kind of harness to hold me in and I'll just shoot it outside the hatch.
Rex, you know that there are suits and cables that are easily hooked up to do a spacewalk if you ever need to repair the outside of the ship.
How do you think I got all those sweet decals out there?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Rex, you know where to go in order to make this happen.
Is that why people fly by and yell Skinnerd?
Yeah. So would you like to take Bryn to the hatch?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Let's run, princess.
You two exit the bridge
Call me
and see
princess.
Tag standing in front of the door to the reactor about 40 feet away down the hallway. You will need to go near him to get to the elevator, and the hatch that you need is going to be on the bottom deck. You're not going to have any trouble getting there. If you want to have a moment with Tag, now's the time. Otherwise, you're going to the hatch.
Oh, I'm going to talk to Tag.
I see her, and for some reason it didn't occur to me that she could just open the door, walk down the hallway, and have a confrontation with me face to face. I really thought I was doing some cool farewell movie shit. So I see her, and I just try to scamper behind something skinny.
We can still see you.
I'm not talking to you, Rex.
Look, Tag, I have an idea. I think I can sever the tether. I'm gonna go put on a spacesuit, do some space roaming, and I'm gonna sever it. And then we'll talk about you dying later, but that's not happening today.
Bryn, you were telling me that you were going to leave the already very limited safety of this spacecraft to try and just go mano a mano with this giant evil entity?
Look, I am armed with optimism and good luck. I 100% think this is going to be okay, and if it doesn't, then you can do whatever you were going to do. But let's give it a try. We're just getting to know each other. I don't want to lose my parallel.
All right, you get one shot.
Okay.
You can execute with the priority. What are you smiling at? With the priority being your own continued survival.
Of course, I'll survive. I'm resilient.
Okay.
Okay, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do it in a series of moves that are going to stack on Bryn being the final execution of severing the tether. You're going to go down the line, and I'm going to choose each of you and tell you what's required of you. You will tell me how you would like to solve the problem, and then you'll make a roll. These rolls will carry one into the next. So the consequences will be present as we move to the next person. Your roll will have a direct effect on who's coming next. So, first of all, we're going to need, I think it's going to be Sam. Sorry, I miss Sam. I miss Puck too. It's going to be Sam manning the science console in order to relay and lock on the tether. Then it's going to be Captain Matt Vancil, who's going to have to get you into position using... He's going to actually have to take the helm himself because he's the best goddamn pilot this galaxy's ever seen. So he's actually going to have to do the maneuver himself. He'll be rolling.
Vancil maneuver!
Then we're going to have
under the table.
Rex assist in getting Bryn out the door and kind of guiding her in the only you're going to shot put the summoner into space, and then Bryn, you're going to be rolling use magic to sever the tie.
Thank God.
Where do you fit into this, Tag?
Let's maybe, as this plan unfolds, we'll maybe find a opportunity to visit Tag. If it doesn't go according to plan, that I can maybe pitch in, and if it does, I can maybe put a little spit on the ball at the end. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Okay. So, Sam, we're going to start with you.
So,
tell me what you want to do.
So, as Sam has been studying at the science console, he's discovered that the two combinations that had the greatest effect in really drawing out the umbilical was a tachyon particle, but done in a sonic rhythm. So basically, it's going to be a tachyon, like Morse code of the Beastie Boys sabotage going at the particle there, at the umbilical.
All right. What skill do you want to use? I'm going to give it to you.
I think this is going to be it's going to be the one with hold on, just give me a second here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. Sure.
All right, here we go.
Hot dice.
Oh, that's hot. Boxcars, here we go. So Tag doesn't kill himself. Well, that's an 8.
Okay. Partial success, so tell me what happens.
So I start the song and have that be the sonic frequency relayed from the computer to distribute the tachyon field in the same patterning, and it starts to like wave out, and the whole chord starts to light up in sort of like a rainbow shimmer, like it's being hit by like disco lights, basically.
And Bryn, in your comm, as you're starting to get ready to eject out of the ship, you hear this. All right, Captain Matt Vancil.
I'm going to trust my gut and fly straight at that ship.
Okay. I think
trust your gut.
Roll, right?
Huh?
Yeah, it's going to be you're going to roll plus weird, I think, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you roll plus weird.
All right, plus weird. Here we go. Also weird.
You can see this shimmering disco light, and you know that if you come in real close and almost skim the side of their craft, it'll put you in a parallel line to the tether, and you'll have the longest amount of time to cut it because you won't be crossing it, you'll be running alongside.
And as I do that, I'm gonna top gun it so that we're upside down and Bryn has the very best view full on, cinemascope view at that tether.
Fuck yeah. You're going to roll act under pressure, and then you're going to add a +1 because trust your gut is giving you +1 forward as you use the information that you glean.
Sweet. Oh, am I supposed to roll again? Sorry.
Yes, you're going to roll plus cool.
Plus cool. 6.
Okay.
Oh, wait, 7 because it was the extra one.
Okay. Okay, so you flip over Top Gun style, and you feel the shimmer of their shields as your shields actually clang against theirs, and there's this ripple, and their cloak drops as you fly past all of these huge spines on this insect-looking ship, and you're now flying upside down
Sweet.
over.
If I'm able, while I'm skimming, I want to take the decals off on their shield.
Yes. With a 7, you can take off a third of the decals, so a majority of them are still there. But you got the Skinnerd one.
Okay, but Nyan Cat is still there?
That's
all right.
my favorite one.
Okay, Rex, you feel the ship do some evasive maneuvers. You guys are both kind of locked into some tethers, and you're going to need to crack the hatch, basically, and toss Bryn out. You are also wearing an environment suit, and you guys have locked yourselves into this little, contaminated room. You're going to roll whatever you want in order to shot put the summoner out the door.
I think help out is probably the most appropriate.
Okay?
No!
That's a bad face.
That's a 6!
Yeah, I get a +2.
So what I envision happening is I grab her helmeted head between, we all have on these big spacesuits, so I have these big puffy hands, and I grab her helmet and I look at her and I say, "Have you ever spacewalked before?"
No, is it fun?
It's great. The one thing you need to be careful of, and then you what?
Oh!
No.
Mama. Apparently, we just depressurized and Rex froze solid.
That was actually good timing. What's happening?
Oh, yeah, I think she said the most important thing is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and with whatever she rolled, I assume it's a fucking failure with the face that she made. You get flung out into the void of space. Yes, I said it, Connor. And then you are locked into a tether that is going to keep you connected to the ship. And you are now going to Tag. You have an opportunity here if this is your moment. If you want to take it, if not, we can keep rolling.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Bryn is now catapulted into the space as the ship takes an evasive maneuver and Rex loses her hands.
right, if I may just expand upon Matt Vancil's offer of Top Gun, we are the moment in Wanted where the one car flips over the other car so that the dude can reach out the sunroof and pop down. Right, so she's like, the next step is just Trin does her thing.
Yeah, Bryn's going to be flying through the air and trying to sever this cable.
Okay,
Alright,
she talked me down, and I had a moment of weakness because she's so damn charismatic and endearing. But suddenly, I'm hit with this panic of guilt as I see her alone with this shoddily fastened helmet and a little belt, essentially tethering her to the ship as she's drifting above this giant ancestral marauder craft vessel. So I'm going to go into the void reactor. We're getting a good freeze frame on Trin right now. I'm going to go into the void reactor. So human, please. I Tag don't think that I can siphon off any of that void energy, but I'd like to go into the void. I'm going to tell you guys what my plan is, although hopefully they won't know about it. And I want to see if I can just kind of suck up and take into my void self my phase state self, that void energy, and just bundle and pack it up, kind of wind it inside my phase state body in a way that is not immediately apparent.
Sure. Roll plus weird.
11.
Excellent. You can do it. And because you rolled an 11, it will not be immediately apparent.
Great.
Is there anything
let me-
that you want to piggyback on top of that?
Yeah. Hello, Dr. Pepperstein?
It's Asael. What?
Asael. But it was more than that, right? You're the same person your full name?
Type Wolferston.
Asael Katura Pipe Wolfenstein.
Pipe Wolfenstein, Wolfen Pepperstein. I believe I was close enough.
Hasenpfeffer!
What do you want, Tag?
What do you mean, what do I want? I'm here. You gave me my 5 minutes. I had my meditative human moment. I thought about serene things like gardens and ponds and what a first kiss would have been like. And now I'm ready to turn myself over, okay? I'm not gonna waste this ship's escape pod, okay? The whole point of us doing this is so that they can continue to function, survive. They're gonna need that escape pod. So I'm just gonna phase right over, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Your ship is doing some crazy stuff, by the way. I'm surprised you haven't noticed.
I'm
It's
surprised
doing
you haven't seen Top
crazy
Gun.
stuff.
Yeah, we know. That's Captain Matt Vancil at the helm. Next time, show some respect.
You will be needing a brand new roll in order to do this second move. You were able to get all the energy that you wanted and to do so secretly with the first. This is going to be use magic in order to teleport, sort of.
6.
You fucking bastard. Okay.
Oh no.
What is it? Will you tell me what, in just broad terms, because you ain't going to get much of it, what it is that you wanted to do?
No, I'm gonna get it. Just bad stuff's gonna happen. I hope. Yeah, I just want to, kind of Trojan horse myself almost, and appear them, give them a good look in the eye, and then detonate my face elf from the inside as a little grenade of void energy, hopefully disrupting whatever defenses they have right before Bryn does her thing.
Okay, you're going to be able to do all that. You'll tell me when you want to do it. Let's let a little of these beats unfold. You're not going to end up where you think you're going to end up when you phase, though. That's going to be the hard move I take, is that you don't end up where you want to be.
Show up in the lavatory of the ship. Hey, excuse me.
Rex, did you roll a fill?
I did.
Okay, I'm going to take my hard move on Bryn's turn. Bryn, you are now flying through space. You see this disco light tether that's been illuminated by Sam, and you are hurtling towards it. How are you planning to disrupt it?
It's made out of light.
It's just being that's so you can see it. Otherwise, it would be invisible to you. The weird glowy effect is something that Sam did to make it more easily targeted. But it would be made out of that ichor, malice. It would be made out of that darkness, the evilness that you guys have seen a couple times.
Well, we've disrupted it with life and with healing. So, I don't see a whole lot of life out here.
You in the past have been able to pull energy from strange places. It's always a little less powerful in space. The nearest planet is the fire planet. You guys are kind of in orbit over your planet. You will be reaching far to get it.
Oh.
But it's there. It's available to you.
Okay. That's literally the only thing is that planet, our 2 ships, and that's it. And
Puck,
space.
You could use Puck.
I could use Puck.
Yeah, just
He
suck
is
out.
sharp.
Yeah, just suck out all Puck's life force and channel it into the magic.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Puck absorb void energy?
Yeah, Sam's trying to get you to kill Puck.
No, no, he just still wants to be part of the team. I'm trying to help out. He's literally volunteering right now. He's like, pick me. Use my life force to save everyone. I'm immortal. See, that's him. That's him talking. That's not even me talking. It's crazy. I'm possessed.
Bryn, you will be able to. You're going to just be rolling plus weird. So no matter what you do, you're just going to kind of give it a flavor of how you're going to sever this thing. You can pull the energy from wherever you want, and you can shoot it or cut it or do whatever you'd like. It will happen, but your plus weird roll will kind of determine what happens while it's going on. But you're just like hurtling towards this thing. You can create a fire sword. You can shoot it with your staff. You can bite it. I don't know. Whatever you're gonna do.
I want to shoot healing bubbles at it, and when the bubbles pop on it, it explodes it from the inside.
Okay, cool. Yeah, roll plus weird.
Oh boy. 11. See, it's always magic.
Yeah.
Captain Matt Vancil. I don't screw everything up.
You are just reaching everywhere you can to pull energy to cast this spell. You do feel Puck somewhere there in the phase state, and you grab a little bit off of him. You do pull some from the reactor of your ship. You steal some of this very strange energy from the enemy vessel, and you siphon a bunch from the planet as well. There is this compact ball of void energy that seems to be flying from one ship to the other, and you reach out and pull some of that as well. And as you send these healing bubbles, Tag, all of a sudden, you are inside this healing bubble. And it is now flying towards...
Wait, you saw me traveling in physical space between these two ships?
No, she was just grabbing energy to try and cast this magic, so she just grabbed it. But now you've been pulled back as you were phasing.
It's space bubbles, for reals.
In a space bubble. And you are now flying towards the tether. As you come into contact with it, something very strange happens, and it affects everybody. There were several fails that rolls that led to this moment.
That's subjective.
Lisa, Bryn, you are throwing everything you have into this spell. And I think that when you see Tag appear unexpectedly as he's about to kamikaze into the bridge of the other vessel and realizes he's just floating in space, you see the fear on his eyes, you lose concentration. So as the bubble hits, there's a feedback of magic that travels into you. And you feel yourself get pulled towards the tether very quickly as you watch Tag disappear into it. This vibration of magic follows down the cable that is connecting Bryn to the ship and hits Rex. And she, too, starts to feel as though she's being ripped out of her body and pulled towards this thing in a very astral projection kind of way. This energy continues to roll through the ship as each and every one of you is pulled towards this magical tether. And you are all flung into this place outside of time that looks very reminiscent of that hungry and burning place that you saw through the rift when the ship appeared. But that is a shadow, as though it is right on the other side of a veil that you have not fully crossed. And behind you, you can see, also kind of shadowed, Haven, space, the fire planet, and a couple moons. And all of you are just floating in this place, and you are now in person with Asael, as he is standing there holding a very large glaive and says, I could have sworn we had some kind of truce about handing over a prisoner and everybody being on board.
Well, here it's me, Rex, and Bryn on board the ship.
Everybody. And you guys are not on his ship. Neither is he. You're just floating in this place that you think is kind of locked into this tether that is the connection from your world to another, and you're in the middle of it.
Nothing about this went like anyone wanted it to go, Pepper Snapper.
I'm going to let the name things slide.
You're going to have to name it. We're the one that's got to pronounce it.
Hey, Tag.
I'm not trying to make a xenophobic cut there. It's just
Hey, Tag. You know that
Yep.
thing you were talking about?
Yes.
I think it's that time.
Okay. Let's notate that Tag looks like Veruca Salt right now after she ate the blueberry thing. Is she the blueberry one?
No,
Yeah.
Veruca Salt says I want it now. She goes down the chute from the golden eggs because she's spoiled. My God, Connor.
Yeah. If you do Violet Beauregard,
We've got 12
Violet
minutes left. Do you want to
Beauregard,
just devote 4 minutes to having Matt Vancil rapidly biography each of the characters from Willy Wonka to...
Well, first off, there was Gustav Klump, who.
Okay, whoever the blueberry girl was, I think the tag's just like
I think Casey's got the name on the tip of his tongue. Let's not waste it, Casey.
Violet Beauregard. Violet Beauregard.
Violet Beauregard. I'm a fool. Of course it's Violet Beauregard.
got
Yeah, I
that.
kind of look like her.
Violet!
Like,
You're turning violet, Violet!
What are you talking about?
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
I want one, Daddy.
That's
She's
Veruca
terrible.
All right, that's what you get, Tag. Continue.
Okay. Wait, me and Rex haven't done our impression.
All right, let's hear
About
him.
these characters that we know so well.
Give us a Charlie Bucket.
Hey, I'm Charlie Buckets.
Oh, did nobody ever read you Roald Dahl? What?
I was more a BFG witches,
Oh, those are good.
kind of
Those
fella.
are also good.
And perfect, Rex nailed it. All right, Tag,
Oh,
you're blowing up like a blueberry. What do you got for us?
I think it just popped.
Okay. So
But it starts as a slow leak. It starts, and then
What? No.
so
not in a like I'm actually killing off Tag right now. I just think
Oh,
that
okay.
yeah, you're gonna have. So there's gonna be an explosion of void energy, and it's going to sever this tether.
oh
Wait,
fuck.
Void Energy?
Oh, sorry, I did not even anticipate that.
Oh,
Be here, man. I was going off on a mission.
oh.
And so what ends up happening is the world around you fractures, and each of you is splintered off into a separate reality, and you can all see like this honeycomb effect of every different timeline, and your like prime version is anchored into a different one, because what you've done, Tag, is you've ripped apart a tether of very, very old magical energy that was crossing through realities, and that is now kind of resolving itself. And so each of you, ending with Bryn, is going to have the opportunity to ask the other one question. And we're going to start with Sam. You are Sam for now. I think we all know you're going to be Puck when you get back into the ship. Actually, you're both. Let's have a question from each.
Okay.
This is an opportunity to create some lore. I don't have too much in mind. You're going to each ask me one question. I will answer as the other, and we're going to establish some shit about a faction that has now presented itself into this realm.
Okay. And the question is about the faction, or the question is just for the alter reality self?
It's for whatever your character wants to know. You get to ask this entity one question. Each of you is coming from a very different place. It can be about whatever you want. It could be about if their favorite kind of sandwich, but it's up to you.
All right. So
Get Merc to jump in the. Do we want to confirm the existence of gender for this particular ship captain, or keep the other without gender? The only reason I ask is
I
because I'm
accidentally-
using multiple pronouns. So I want to honor what Merc is offering, if that is a gender or if that is an absence of gender.
Yeah, if we can get Merc to answer in chat.
If she's still there, yeah. But keep going. I just in the future, I just want to. If it seems like this character is coming back,
Sure. So we'll start with Sam.
okay. So I think Sam is going to ask. Did you do it any better?
Give me a little clarification, player to player, just so I don't blow your question by taking it the wrong way.
Yeah, for sure. He's talking about love. Like I think Sam is approaching this very much not in like, oh, these are like multiple realities, as much as like, oh, I just died I'm seeing myself. This is my opportunity to sort of look back at life, and his biggest regret is his continued failure at love.
Sure. Yeah, okay, so what I had in mind initially is that each of you were going to ask the other a question that is still on the table. Sam is asking out to a separate reality, to one of his other versions, and that version turns back to you and says what?
Yeah. We got it wrong every time.
All right.
But just with like just an absolute grin. It's not that he did it any better. It's that he feels okay about it.
Cool. We're going to go Rex next. We'll circle back around for Puck. We're going to go to Bryn next, because I think Rex is frozen.
Oh,
Listen, I'm going to be real honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. Has had basically been catching maybe 30% of what's been happening for like the last 30 minutes.
Okay, fair.
Give this girl her screen back. She's got such a brilliant freeze right now. We don't need to be blacking that out. That's some good content.
Rex, if you can hear me, type your question. What's your question? Type it into Discord. We didn't catch any of that.
What the hell is going on?
Oh, okay. Asael says, this is new to me. We've never existed. We've never had agency over multiple timelines. We've only been aware of them and our place in a natural order of things. But this fracture, this is caused by you. And unfortunately, like we thought, Tag, who seems to have much more of a place in the things to come than we would appreciate for someone who continues to elude us. Bryn.
Why do you want to destroy this world?
We don't. We want to consume it because it is our destiny to do so. We have no choice. The continuum brought this upon itself. We are simply enacting what has been put in place for us. Puck.
how's it going?
Not good. I feel like this plan didn't really turn out the way that I thought it was going to, and now I'm having to come to terms with a powerlessness that I'm not comfortable with. But thank you for asking. How's it going with you?
Sounds like every GM ever.
You know, pretty standard. I feel like you were where I was a million years ago, and I'll be where you are 5 million years later, or never, or now. So, yeah.
It is nice that you recognize yourself in us because you are the descendants of our people. When the magic was taken away from us after we consumed it, it turned into you. And so, we are fighting for you.
Are you related to Tag?
Tag. You're next.
Why me? Why do you need me to consume this power?
We love you. You seem to be the one who has a chance. You are the only one who can adequately assume the role of a human. You're the only one who can experience empathy. You are the only one of our entire species who's ever made a difference in the other reality or can remain there for any time. Even now, as you are seeing, we are tethered to that place and dependent on its energy. Only you, for some reason, can assume this role. And so, though I hate it, we need you.
So this is what? This is a shell?
No. That is what we thought it was originally, but you are human, but you are also one of us. There's no way that you could fake what you are, Tag. You will have to choose who you become fully, because right now you are living in both worlds. It's why you can phase the way that you do. It's why you can see what you can see, and it's why you have the ability to look into others' minds and control them.
When this happened before, when I ate worlds, that was me.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Did I enjoy it?
very much. It's hard not to.
And then what happened to me?
We've been defeated. We cannot destroy the continuum. We have not been able to, but we believe you will find a way.
No, I mean, what happened to, if you're talking about a sense of reincarnation, what happened to the past versions of me?
Sometimes we've retrieved you before it's happened. Other times you've been dispersed, and then we are tasked with a very long journey to cross over in increments and retrieve pieces and parts of you and bring you back. It is a huge pain in the ass. Captain Matt Vancil.
Yes. How do I build a void relay?
The technology is very old, but you could enlist the help of another that's been in Tag's orbit. His name is Professor Brodigan. We only have pieces and parts of his memory, but if there's anyone who could fashion a new way to travel faster than light, it would be him. He's played by Brian Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
And finally, Bryn.
What? I get another one? Okay, good. I have a question. What's the meaning of life?
As this shrug happens, the tether collapses and all of you are flung back.
Wait, player, did we get, oh, I'm sorry, so sorry. We did get Puck. Puck said, what's up? My bad.
How's it going?
Yeah,
How's it going?
My bad.
There is no response to that, but as you are all being flung back and each and every one of you feels this projection of yourself crash back into your body and you're hit with this vertigo and this nausea, a hand reaches out and grabs Bryn. And it is Asael, and they are holding you, Bryn, this projection of yourself, and you feel yourself being pulled towards the tether. And this other says, and you can see that there are several different versions of this reality collapsing around you, and you do get the impression that this Asael is not the one that you've been dealing with. This is just some other version of this creature. And each one that you guys spoke to, it seems like the reason they were so forthcoming or so honest is they didn't have anything against your reality version. And so there's this crossover of information that's crossing. It's the way that Sam was able to talk to another version of himself. And so this Asael looks slightly different. And it's though that the black cloak and the armor has begun a process where it is being bleached. And it is changing from this dark color to a lighter one. And it seems to be a very arduous and unsuccessful process, but the black part of the fabric and the black iron of the metal is being lessened into a gray. And this Asael says, the summoner who aligns them with this particular parallel, I think it's you. I've seen you in a different reality and I can recognize your presence here, but I can't be for sure. You will pay because they cannot destroy Tag. So they will destroy you. And it will be a slow process. And it will be relentless. But they will use you to get to him. For as long as you are bound to him, he will be weak. And then Asael lets you go. And you too, Bryn, are flung back into the ship and you crash into Rex. And you're all just in the ship. On Haven. And you see the tether start to explode, the one that was connecting this insect-like vessel to the rift, and that chain reaction travels up through the ship, and that ship vaporizes. And you can tell that the moment that that connection was broken, this ship could no longer exist in this reality.
Ow, no salvage.
And that is Blackout.
Yeah.
Wait, hang
Matt
on.
Vancil, everybody.
Oh, thank you. That was fun.
Thanks for being our captain.
My pleasure.
It was great to have you, Matt. Don't act like it was, you were coming in and lifting us up upon your mighty shoulders.
Mighty broad shoulders.
Yeah, your Herculean.
No. This side of the camera is a mystery to me. Thank you for serving as such able guides. And just thank you.
Cool.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. It was great having you. I know the chat was really, really excited to see you here.
It was fun. It meant I didn't have to do the dishes or put the kids to bed, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
You are? Then you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
I also love adding that Captain Matt Vancil has a daughter on board Haven.
That's
Bucks
amazing.
with the controls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. All right.
definitely a piece of the story that is going to continue on.
In that case, her name is Claire, and she's 6.
Got it. Writing notes down right now.
Claire. That's adorable.
We'll just get rid of one of those NPCs we forgot about and replace them with Claire.
That's amazing. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for raising money. I lost count. What did I say, like 1860 or something like that?
Incredible.
Wow.
Thank you guys
Like
so
nearly
much.
$2,000 we've raised tonight. Yeah, that's fucking rad.
That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Chad. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. So if you guys just want to give a quick where you can be found, if you want to be found, starting with Connor.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of carry the thread of making self-promotion secondary and talk about this thing called Justice LA. I happen to be in LA, which is why I found them. But what I really like about them is that they've got this text-based mailing list, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they'll just send you a little text with like, "What's up? Here's, the fight for justice is long and hard. Here's one little thing that you can do today." And it'll just be a very small action item that you can take 20 minutes out of your day to accomplish, and really helps. Justice LA, one word.
Yay! Thank you. How about you, Casey?
Well, no, I feel like a total heel.
Fuck,
because
sorry, yeah, I realized what I've done. My bad.
Any great actions for you guys to take. So I would say reach me at Connor_Marks at Twitter, where
All right, you bastard.
You guys can find me at Case Jackalope at Instagram.
Awesome. Trin.
Oh,
Trin says, make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
That's what I think. How about you, Jesse?
I'm going to point you in the direction of Matt Vancil's work. He's been creating these wonderful, beautiful fantasy worlds for a very long time, writing and directing a lot of the projects that are on Zoe's channel. But Journey Quest is something that I had the pleasure of being an actor to his director on, and it changed my life because he's very smart and very kind and very, very fun to work with. So go check out Journey Quest. Go check out Gamers. There's multiples of each. They're all available for free. Give them some likes. Give them some shares. Give them some love because they're great. And Matt Vancil's a genius, and I love working with him.
Thank you. Feeling is mutual.
That's awesome. All right, Matt, where can we find you?
Oh, my goodness. Twitter is Matt Vancil. Easy enough. I think that's also the Instagram. I'm sort of in between online locations right now, but once Apple Goblin is set up and going, that's a thing you might search for. If you're looking for other places to spend your dollars towards social justice, I would recommend the Northwest Community Bail Fund, which helps bail out protesters here in the Northwest in Seattle. Black Lives Matter Seattle King County, which is the local BLM chapter for our metropolis. And down here in Tacoma, Tacoma Rescue Mission, which is our local homeless shelter where, $2 can feed a person. And more than that to give them a bed and a place and a chance. So those are my 3.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. And I'm Lisa Coronado. You can find me on Twitter at Lisa Coronado, and I'm going to echo Trin's sentiments to make sure you're registered to vote. That's all I got. I want to say special thanks to Mark Thomason, our tech wizard. Thanks so much to our mod, Merc Worky. You're the best. Thanks for hanging out with us in the old chat. And to Zombie Orpheus for hosting us and making this all possible.
We've got a Discord. Come join us there. And
we do have a Discord. We have a Void Jumpers Discord. Yeah, you can find us on Void Jumpers. And then we've got Zoe Game Night coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. What was it? Lee will be on Zoe Game Night. They're going to be playing Mystery Express tomorrow. And then Masters of the Metaverse will be on Monday at 6 p.m. And then we we might be taking a break next week because we're between seasons, correct?
Yeah, let's just call it. We're gonna take a break next week.
Yeah,
to get our
we'll be
shit
back
together.
in 2 weeks with season 3.
Yeah,
Thanks for
great
tuning in
time
to Rough
for your
Enamored.
friends.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Thanks Matt Vancil.
Matt Vancil, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for letting me come play in your world. It was a lot of fun.